for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She telling me to come forward, come for me. See, I don't know why I finally now I just spoke my mind. I know it's long since we spoke sometime, but this thing no play, I go change your mind. Just give me some time, really, please. Cause I don't have no time to waste. No more back and forth, just like Aliyah. That's all I wanna do right now. Grab it up. Say you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, when me gonna grab it up? Say you know me gonna grab it up. Body to body, make a bend up on that reeling. Bad man, turn you over like a steering. Well, she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come for me. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let you go. When she telling me to come forward, come for me. That's what she telling me to come forward. No hesitation when I come forward. I won't let her go. Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's telling me to come forward, come for me.
Just killed it.
You made the decision to play Thiago. Klopp doesn't change the system since Lubac left. You don't want to change from the 4-3-3. Boom, 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 boom. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, people? We're back again on the Jerry James Show for another transfer hub. And yes, been away for a day, and it seems like everything's been popping off. Everything's been popping off since last night. Paul Joyce dropping that crazy tweet, that Gravenberch tweet that some of us might have been waiting for. Others a bit underwhelmed, and some are actually fuming. Some are actually fuming. But hey, what's going on? Shout out to everyone in the building straight off the bat. Make sure that, I mean, I always ask you the same thing. Make sure you're smashing the like as soon as I get in front of the camera. So, I mean, that's your ticket to entry. Don't want to have to go and get a barber involved or anything like that. Not even a barber. I'm talking about a barber because I've just seen someone message me about the barbers. Jesus. I mean, I don't have to get the bouncers involved. The bouncers. Yes, yes, yes. So do that. If you're new to the channel, please make sure we're subscribing, as always. En route to 200 million subscribers. Only a couple away from 2K, and everyone knows if as soon as we get the 2K people, it's going to be the watch-alongs. And the watch-alongs I'm really, really worried about because I feel like I'm going to get clipped. I might even get cancelled. People. It's about 60 of us in the building. I expect 60 likes just straight off the bat. But I need to get into the people here. Everyone involved, everyone in the chat so far. We've got LFC Aaron saying, afternoon, guys. Big up to LFC Aaron. We've got John Thomas in the building as well. Shout out to John saying, big up, JJ. We've got John, the mastermind behind the intro and the outro, saying, on the road home from work, tuning in. Shout out to John. John, listen, I need to chat to you because I'm trying to get something out to the people. And we're waiting on John. So shout out me, John. We got Sean Mack in the building saying hi, live in Blackpool, arrivals Thursday, August the 31st, PM scheduled, Munich, CL60. New update of the flight, estimated departure 3:40. People, they're actually saying Gravenberch might be on a flight with Liverpool officials. That's what I'm hearing. That's what the grapevine's telling me. We're not sure yet, but shout out to Sean Mack for that insight. We got Aman Singh saying, chat to me, Jerry. Gravenberch ain't who we need, man. Listen, I'm definitely going to be chatting to you guys. I've always got to put in my 2 cents. I'm just that type of guy. We've got Ashley Broomfield in the building saying, I'm happy with Gravenberch, but it's been a terrible window. FSG are a cancer killing the club. Listen, we're going to get into all of this. We've got Anfield Lad in the building. We've got Revenite in the building also. Alexander Day Lost. We've got JK. We've got Roms in the building as well. We've got Alejandro saying cat orange whistling. I don't know what the hell that means. Is that something Colombian? I don't know. Griller people. Grill the missus in the comments. I don't know what she's doing. We've got Boom Boom 43 in the building. We've got Ish in the building as well. That's going to be arriving to us soon. We've got Jake's in the building as well. We've got K-Mac in the building. Listen, K-Mac's going to be joining us very, very soon. We've got Frank Carlisle as well saying, scraping the barrel for Gravenberch, especially Phillips. Shout out to Frank Carlisle. I've actually seen that you've actually got your own channel. Massive, massive props for you doing it. I know there's a lot of effort that goes into it. Guys, make sure we're heading over to Frank Carlisle's channel. Just drop your comment inside drop your comment in, your channel inside the comments, and we'll get people liking up and subscribing. We've got Alexander De Los saying, big up, I feel Dutch today. I hear you. We've got JK saying shocking window. So yeah, we're gonna definitely chat, man. We've got Jay Ruiz as well. Shout out to Jay Ruiz saying big up from Peru. Crazy. We've got people from Peru in the building. We've got Peru, Colombia, we've got Liverpool. Hopefully we've got some Dutch people as well. But listen, as always, 2 seconds. Oh, work. Not work. I need to make sure I can send these links out to people. But yes, people. So as we know, dropping yesterday, Liverpool increasingly confident in landing and signing Ryan Gravenberch, a player that Klopp's been, waxing lyrical about, and it's been a #1 target for Klopp since last summer when we were in for him. Bayern Munich got in there just before us, and we didn't really have the money at the moment, or supposedly FSG didn't have the money, couldn't go in for Gravenberch, weren't looking to go and kind of revamp or beef up our midfield. At the time, we had Milner, we had Keita, we had Ox. Klopp came out with that mad speech, only to turn around at the end of January and tell us, I'm sorry, I was wrong. We need Arthur Melo. Bring in Arthur Melo, who played 5 minutes for Liverpool. So it was a crazy window, but Gravenberch has been on the radar for Liverpool for a very, very long time. Klopp's a massive admirer. LFC are massive admirers of the player as well. However, he went to Bayern Munich and it didn't really work out. Didn't really work out in his first season after his move from Ajax. Looking for game time. It's a very, very weird situation, because Nagelsmann, who was at obviously Bayern at the time, didn't really fancy him, didn't really give him, a fair crack of the whip. Come to this season now, Tuchel's obviously got him at his disposal and is still not really convinced on the player. He hasn't, kind of said, you know what, you're going to be my starting midfielder, a la Bissouma with Ange Postecoglou at Tottenham. And Gravenberch is looking for minutes, looking for game time, and Liverpool seems to be the destination that he's looking at. Now, the biggest question I've got into it before we get into who Gravenberch is, how does he even fit Liverpool's system, right, is if he's such a big target, why did Liverpool not go in for him, people? I actually need the comments to let me know. Why did Liverpool not go in for this brother? As in, we were mulling about over Lavia. I know, is it Bayern Munich who just decided they want to sell now? I guarantee if we pushed them enough, we probably would have been able to make some ground on that transfer. It just doesn't really make any sense to me. Of course, Bayern now, that's something to think about, people. But look, Bayern now are actually seemingly willing to sell. The club realised, look, 2 managers don't really want him. We rate him as a club, but our managers don't. So there's no point keeping, obviously, an asset on the bench that's obviously going to decrease in value from not playing. Let's go and try to sell him. Liverpool are desperate. Can we get 40 million for him? Can we add 10 million to 15 million pound or euro profit on top of the signing? And Liverpool are, it seemingly they're in negotiations now. Of course, that's all predicated on the fact that Bayern Munich can go and achieve and obtain their target, which seems to be Joao Palhinha, and number 6. That personally, I think that Liverpool require more than a number 8, and I think Gravenberch is that number 8. Looking at the stats prior to obviously going on stream, he's played about 40% of his games for Ajax as a DM. So he's predominantly a number 8. Now, I struggle to kind of understand why Liverpool are pushing so much for a number 8 as opposed to a DM. We all assumed, Endo's coming in to be that Milner or Henderson replacement to take up those minutes. But is Gravenberch going to start as a DM? And if not, is he coming to go and battle McAllister and Szoboszlai, who've started really, really well for Liverpool for that number 8 spot alongside Curtis Jones and Harvey Elliott. Really, really interesting. Really, really interested in that, man. So I need to, before we get into who the brother is, obviously we're going to get into the Twitter. Get into what the Athletic are saying about him. I think that's quite important. Subscribe to the Athletic. So I might as well just drop you the gems, innit? But I need to obviously see what you guys are saying in the comments, man, because I am very, very, very confused. 2 seconds. Let me get these links out, man, because I'm moving brazy. There you go. Jesus, looks, it seems to be popping today. Popping. Everyone wants to come on. Guys, make sure we are smashing a like, please. But as it is, I need to go and have a look at here what you guys are saying. Where are we? There we go. We got Cameron Elder in the building saying plane on tarmac, engine running. Boom Boom saying not convinced he'd sign. He's reportedly on 150k a week, so he'd surely be taking a pay cut. We're saying that, yeah, talking about Gravenberch as a pay cut. We're going to get into all the nooks and crannies, but Liverpool have a massive, massive, massive chunk of the wage budget that they can just splurge on anyone, really. And they can do, because there's no rule. We've got no rule players. We've offloaded a hell of a lot of players, especially on big wages, most notably Naby Keita, Ox, Henderson and Fabinho, who are all on 100k plus. There is space for a Ryan Gravenberch to obviously come in. But remember, he wants to go and have game time. Now, whether he's going to get that game time at Liverpool, I do not know. I think it's a bit weird. It's like he's coming in from another team to have more competition. And you can look at it as a positive. He's coming. He's trying to assert himself and progress his career. But it's not guaranteed game time at Liverpool. McAllister and Szoboszlai seem to be nailed down first teamers. And unless he's going to be playing as a DM and we're going to convert him and he's going to become that guy, I just don't see how this is going to work, man. I really, really don't. Alexander, they lost saying, look, I like him. He has a lot of great potential. Yeah, look, a lot of great potential. It's mad. Like, football's such a fast-moving sport. 24 months ago, 12 months ago, if someone said to you, look, Liverpool signing Gravenberch, we'd all be here, tissue out, Vaseline out, getting excited. But the problem is, though, he's not that guy at the moment, and he's going to have to prove to us who he is. Ansu Fati going to Brighton's a great example, people. 6 months, 12 months ago, maybe even 18 months ago, Ansu Fati getting the number 10 from Barca. He's going to be the guy. He's going to be the guy. Injuries now, not really playing games. He's on loan at Brighton. Now, that's a really, really good signing for Brighton, but how far have the mighty fallen? From Barca to Brighton, it's a bit of a step down, man. Jay Rue saying, I was watching that Bayern wants to get Palhinha. Yeah, 100%, man. 100%, that's what it is, man. Timmy Dyer saying Gravenberch is 30 M's tops. Yeah, he is looking it. He is looking at it. We got Honesty, big up to Honesty saying, big up JJ. I understand this before he went to Bayern LFC. Was gassing him up, and now it's underwhelming. These fan bases don't know what they want at times. 100%, but it's understandable, though. We're in a different situation. Like, Gravenberch, for me, was coming in to do that Szoboszlai role. Like, that's what I would have assumed on the basis of it. Now it seems more of like an opportunistic kind of PR signing, if I'm going to be deadly honest. But we're going to look at, obviously, the stats, and we're going to obviously get into it. Guys, 176 people in the building. Please make sure we are smashing the like. And please smash the like for the main man in the building. We've got K Mac, who's popped up in stream. And also, we got Ram in the building as well. So, listen, mad people. Listen, loads of people in the stream. Loads of people watching. Smash a like for, obviously, K-Mac. Head over to K-Mac channel. Ram, K-Mac, chat to me, man. Let's start with K-Mac because he was coming first. Chat to me. Ryan Gravenberch.
Get the lube out.
Seems like it's going to get done. Like, they're trying to offload. Bayern are just trying to, obviously, protect themselves and sort out this Joao Palhinha deal. I wanted Joao Palhinha.
Mate, if we're funding last year, Joao Palhinha to Bayern, then we need our red testing. I'm sorry. Like, have you watched this guy since the start of the season? Like, he was the reason why they got a 2-2 draw, and he's the reason why they beat Spurs. Like, this guy is the DM we need. Like, it's another one of those obsessions, isn't it? Like, it's now come out that like Klopp's been after him for like 3 years. Like, Gravenberch is his man. Like, he was looking at him when he was like, I don't know, 18, 19.
Yeah,
he was at Ajax.
That's what's been reported. Yeah,
it's like three first team starts last year. for this guy. Like, that's not good enough for me. Like, it's not good enough for me. Like, Palhinha sat there, 50 million, 55 million will get him. We're probably going to end up spending 40 million on Gravenberch because they need the money to fund Palhinha. Yeah, he's not going to be as cheap as everyone says.
But remember,
he's not.
They just sold Pavard, isn't it? Bayern have also sold Pavard.
Yeah, they've just sold Pavard, which is another guy we probably should have got as well. Like 25 million for him. Like, what are we doing? Like, honestly. Like, so you don't like, did anyone watch Sangaré play last night? Like, this guy's 32 million. Like, Sangaré, he's got a release clause. I'm underwhelmed. Like, I'm going to be underwhelmed again. Like, I can't be having a project DM because he's going to be a project because he hasn't really played there, has he? Do you know whether he's played there much, Rams?
He's played 40% of his game for Ajax in that role.
Ajax play completely different football to what we play.
Yeah.
And the attackers that Gravenberch faces is completely different to the way we face our attackers. We talk about Ajax at a time where they will control the ball for the majority of the game. And they rarely get counted. Very, very quickly like people do against us. I said it before. If we're getting Gravenberch, what's the point in getting a player that, for me, doesn't fit the role that we need? He's not a 6. He's not a destroyer like that. He's more of a Thiago replacement. And JJ, we've spoken about our potential Thiago replacements, but I'm already sold on the guy from Fluminense. What's his name?
Andre
Trindade.
He's off to West Ham.
Who, Andre?
Yeah, the West Ham are going to bring him back from Brazil because they never got the other guy they wanted. Tell you, man, West Ham's director of football is the one we should get.
Oh, we should have got the guy Phil Mitchell. What was it? Is it Phil Mitchell from Monaco?
Yeah,
that's what we should have gotten. But there's too many. Apparently there were going to be too many problems between him and Jurgen Klopp, and I said, why should Jurgen Klopp care about who's going to be director of football? He's a manager. He's only there to make sure the team morale is good and make sure we get results on the pitch. Anything otherwise is not on him. And he obviously has a say in transfers. He gets to give the okay. That's it. They give them the player. They tell them they're good because they have this, and this. They have these kind of attributes. They're good at these kind of things. And Jurgen Klopp basically says, yes, that's it. Everything else, he shouldn't really care about. And I don't know why Jurgen Klopp has this much power when it comes to picking director of football. Like, it's just...
Did Gravenberch play under Ten Hag?
Yeah, he did.
Yes.
Okay, that's interesting.
Gravenberch is a signing United should be getting.
Yeah.
Him and Casemiro. You talk about balance in that midfield. Take out Mason Mount and put in Gravenberch. Midfield so much more balanced.
The question I've got is we're looking for a multi-combative or whatever it's called, multifunctional midfielder. Yeah. What the hell's Stefan Bajcetic? Like, what the hell is Curtis Jones? Like where does it put these guys in the team now? When we go and sign this lad who's been kicking off at Bayern because he hasn't been playing. Do you think he's going to come to Liverpool and not kick off? Like, he's going to be paid like 160, 180k a week.
And we talk about this all the time, right? We talk about how Jurgen Klopp's very specific with the kind of personnel that he wants in terms of the characters, right? He was already put off by Renato Sanchez because of the way he kicked off at Bayern for not getting enough game time. Gravenberch is the same thing. I've made it clear throughout this entire window, if we're going to get a centre midfielder and we're going to get Gravenberch, personally, I do not want him. I want Keepin to be my centre midfielder if we're going to get Gravenberch. I think Keepin's ceiling is a lot higher, and I think he's going to bring something to the Premier League that I don't think any team can cope with. His pace, his power, his height, his physique, his technical ability, all that together. I've said this on JJ's stream multiple times. It will be like what Patrick Vieira was for Arsenal when he first came to the Premier League. Bigger than everyone else, faster than everyone else, stronger than everyone else, and has technical ability on it. And guess what? What happened to Patrick Vieira when he became a lot older? He became a number 6 because he has the mental mindset. And Kefren Turam is more defensive minded than Gravenberch. And even then, we say that he's not that defensive minded. But he says it himself, preferably, I would like to be more defensive. But because of the attributes that I have, people may want to use that that physical ability traits that he has. I don't understand, man. Is that Gravenberch? Look, he had a high ceiling, and I think he still has a high ceiling. But I'm sick of this total football BS, man. Total football only works if you got the creme de la creme of football players. If you got your Edgar Davids, your Clarence Seedorf. The reason why total football worked for them because they were the creme de la creme. I don't think Gravenberch is on that creme de la creme level, man.
Cool. We'll speak about it. You got the next man coming in. I told you the stream's popping today. We got the main man Ish. He's making a return, like do you know what I mean? Like Stone Cold Steve Austin after a long hiatus. What are you telling me, Ish, man? Long time no see. You're on mute as well. This is rookie error from Ish.
Yes.
He's on mute.
It's been a while. It's been too long. I was just going to say, about Stone Cold, this club's making me want to smash glass like his intro music because this window's been a myth completely. You know what it is, yeah? On the Gravenberch thing quickly, I hear what you're not saying about it. It's not really, it's a bit of a square peg round hole, but it is, for me, he is a good player. He's still young. There's opportunity to flip him for more money later on down the line as well. But it's just how poorly we planned this window is making every signing we make from this point onwards underwhelming. It doesn't matter. As long as we're like, from the Caicedo thing, from the Lavia thing, I think pretty much whichever midfielder we sign after that's going to feel like an L. But the Palhinha thing, 70 million, 60 million, 50 million, however much it's going to be, to all of us looks like a better fit for us. So for me, it's just like, it's 20 million in it. Go and drop the other 20 million, go and get Palhinha instead, because we've obviously got the money. We dropped 111 million for Caicedo, so the money's there. So to leave it this late, unless I don't see a centre back as well, then this window can't get more than like a 5 out of 10, 5.5 out of 10 max, because it's just poor planning, man.
Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
It's going so well as well, man.
I mean, we say it was going well. We say it was.
You know what I said. You know what I said.
JJ,
Two was it. Two was all we were going to get. The Endo one is because of the departures.
Well, it seems like we're getting 4 though. So
when we looked at Szoboszlai's stats and the fact that there's still gaping holes and we still needed players, but we felt as though Liverpool would kind of do it and Klopp would kind of push it. At that moment, we were all gassed. We looked at Szoboszlai's stats. We looked at him and we want this guy was meant to be that guy. We got him in. After that, we're like, we're not done yet. We still need more players. Klopp is kind of pushing for more players. Hearing Lavia, and then all of a sudden just goes. I hate.
And I was so excited about Caicedo. I was going to get a tattoo. And then the bubble burst.
I think I was the only person in the group chat that was like, nah, this is not good. This is not a good look for us. Even if we get Caicedo, it's still not a good look. I just saw it as a lose-lose situation. And lo and behold, look what happened. But, yeah,
there we go, man. But look, before we move on, because I actually want to have I want to analyze this brother a bit more, see why Liverpool are looking to go and get him, because he's someone that's obviously, as we've spoken about, been targeted for a long time by Klopp, by Liverpool. We wanted him last summer, and last summer became next summer, and it seems like next summer might be happening, and we're getting the wrong midfielder after wanting Gravenberch, then it shifted to Bellingham. Well, Tchouameni, sorry, then Bellingham, and now it's like we've gone back to Gravenberch. He fits like the profile I play. I think he fits Liverpool. Like he could play one of the 8 positions, potentially fill out as a 6. I just don't understand why he would want to go and move to Liverpool when he's leaving Bayern for not having game time. right now, currently, do any of us think before I get? And I'm getting Jamie Phillips on. He's actually going to come on now. So I want to ask everyone on the panel and everyone in the comments as well. So please let us know. Is Gravenberch, does he want to compete? Or like, why is he coming to Liverpool if he wants game time?
He'll get games. So he'll get 20 to 30 appearances this season. I don't know if it'll be starts, but he'll get 20 to 30 appearances this season. Europa League's going to start cooking, and you think we've got the cup competitions as well. Even like Carabao Cup now, you're looking at it. I think Spurs are out. Newcastle and City are playing each other in the next round. So there's going to be, you expect us to go quite far on that as well. I think he'll get game time this season. You look at our midfield, Curtis Jones has already had an injury this season. Like Bajcetic is just returning from injury. Thiago hasn't played since the 5th of February or the 4th of February. So he'll get games in there. Whether it's enough for him to warrant leaving Bayern, I don't know, because he only made 3 appearances last season, was it? 4 appearances, something like that.
Yeah.
He'll definitely get more game time than that. And we know what our injuries are like in midfield, but is it going to be enough for him? I don't know. The Euros is next year. He's going to need, for him to get back into the Dutch fold like properly, he's going to need like a significant amount of minutes. But again, it's up to him. If he comes in and Klopp manages to transform him into a DM and he looks good, he'll hold down a spot there because Endo's spot is up for taking. His shirt's not. His shirt's definitely there. So it depends on him. But I'm trying to see now. You come from Ajax. You had your big move to Bayern, didn't work. This is now your chance. I expect him to play like he's got a point to prove. So it's kind of up to him.
Jamie, welcome to the channel. As always, chat to me, man. Ryan Gravenberch, the DM you've always wanted. You've been wanting the whole summer.
I'm going to just go off on one here, and this is just facts. Everything I'm about to say is facts. Liverpool should put in a title charge this season because Jurgen Klopp's got all the players he wants. Fact. Jurgen Klopp wanted Endo. Jurgen Klopp wanted Szoboszlai. Jurgen Klopp wanted McAllister. Jurgen Klopp wanted Gravenberch. Jurgen Klopp does not want a right back to deputise Trent Alexander-Arnold. That's why he's not putting him in midfield and playing him right back where he's vulnerable every single game. He will not change the system because he believes this is the system that will work and bring Liverpool back to success. So he's got the players now to go with the system he wants to play. He doesn't want to deputise right back. There is no reason why in hell Liverpool shouldn't go after a title challenge now with Jurgen Klopp in charge. If we don't, everyone's going to blame the owners when the real blame is on the manager. Simple as that.
Listen, if I speak...
Are you going to drop the mic? You're going to drop the mic? Because that was class.
Can't really argue that one.
If I speak, I think there will be... I don't want to be that guy. I was that guy last season. I was that guy earlier, and I don't want to be that guy. Again, I think he's a good player. I think he's a decent player.
Yeah, play every game.
But how does he improve Liverpool? Like, I understand. I want people to let us know, obviously, in the chat as well. Maybe someone can give us an insight. How does Gravenberch, before we look at the stats, look at where he can play and all of that and compare him, how does Gravenberch improve Liverpool? So we look at where Liverpool are weak in transition. They're weak in, I guess you could say, build up play a bit. You know what I mean? From that perspective, maybe that's a positive having him in there. But in defensive transition, the gaps between midfield and defense, defensive nous.
That ain't a personnel problem. Hang on, mate. That ain't a personnel problem. That's a system problem. It's as simple as that. It's a system issue, right? Jurgen Klopp and Pep Linders have got it in their imagination that we are a possession-based football team now, but also at the same time being a possession-based football team, we play the highest line in the world football with our players really wide and spread out, right? So when we lose the ball in the final third, because he wants us to be counter-pressing as well as a possession-based football team, we're all pushed up into the opposition's half. That's why we're always vulnerable at the back. We are always better with 10 men because he has to go back to the original system that he was successful with Liverpool, which is he dropped the line back about 5 to 7 yards. He contained a little bit more in midfield and we went direct. That's how Liverpool play their best football, going direct. Not all this pretty bollocks, right? When you used to sit it. Go back to doing that. You go back to being compact. You drop the line by 5 yards. You drop the defensive line and the midfield line by 5 yards. Remember, when we won everything, everyone used to talk about our midfielders, not the best midfield in Europe. It was a workhorse midfield. It done all the defensive hard work, got the ball, Henderson and all that weren't doing anything tricky with the ball. They were just giving it to Mane, giving it to Salah, giving it to Bobby. And then the ball would stay up there. They'd keep the ball. Salah, and then Robbo and Trent would get forward and be creative, yeah? That's what he wants to go back to. That's why he's got Gravenberch in. Gravenberch is his multifunctional midfielder he hasn't had since Junior Wijnaldum. He's been trying to do it with Alexis McAllister this season already. It doesn't work with Alexis McAllister because he's not quite able to do that role. He's tried to do it with Jordan Henderson last season when he played Henderson 6 and then realised he's dead food, right? He's been trying to find his multifunctional footballer like Junior Wijnaldum since he left. And Gravenberch he sees is that key. Gravenberch will play every single week. Every single week. I believe his midfield is Gravenberch, McAllister, Szoboszlai, Trent inverted to go alongside that Gravenberch to make a double pivot. The system will stay the same. And that's the way he wants to play. And Endo will be his James Milner. That's how I'm looking at it right now. It's a system problem. You can't tell me the players we have in our 11, our best 11, should be conceding chances like this all the time. You tell them to go a bit more compact, still play nice football, being a bit more compact. Drop the lines at the back in the midfield by 5 yards. That ball over the top is not on no more. You cut out the mistakes. You stop passing out the back, which we're absolutely awful at. Jurgen Klopp used to be the anti-tic-tacker. Yeah? The anti-tic-tacker. Everyone's playing all this nice possession football. Klopp was anti that. He was direct. He was aggressive. He was quick. Where's that gone? Why are we playing slow, boring football where this side can't do it anymore?
The problem is it
doesn't suit Salah either, by the way. Doesn't suit Salah.
Yeah, but the problem is the team have to play like that because teams are giving us possession. The teams are giving us possession. Teams are telling us, go on, break us down.
Yeah,
so if a team's sitting back, you need to have the players to be able to break this team down. My biggest worry is I just don't think that suits, like as you're saying, Klopp's style of play. And I think in order for us to, for this kind of game press to work, you have to be a team that you're not respected as, or teams want to go at you. And that way it becomes a battle of who's fitter, who's faster, who's more direct. If you look at the best games Liverpool play at, it's when we're facing City. It's when we're facing the top teams because these teams aren't giving us the respect. So we're able to be very direct. Against Newcastle, we were terrible in that first 20 minutes when we tried to go toe-to-toe with them because they were just fitter, stronger and faster than us. It's only when we went to 10 men and we said, actually, you guys have the ball. And there was an onus on them to have the ball and to break us down to get that second goal meant that we could actually go and create chances. And even then, we only created 2 chances. And we were lucky that Núñez was clinical.
And that happened at Bournemouth as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think people forget. I think a lot of people have been suckered in to how we play now. It's hard. But when we was most successful under Jurgen Klopp, we were more of a counter-attacking football side. We were more compact. We didn't concede chances. We didn't concede chances like we do now. You know, we weren't playing this high. We weren't.
I disagree.
No, we weren't. We weren't. Go and look at it.
I know, as in like we played. When we were so good, we played multiple styles. We played the counter-attack.
Yeah, we played one style now.
No, but we could break down teams with one through our passing play and just intricate passing play like we saw because we were winning 4-0, 5-0 and stuff like that. Now it's just become one style of play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We don't do it. We're lazy. We got a lazy manager. People don't like this talk because you can't talk about Klopp. It's illegal. Yeah, it's illegal to talk about Jurgen Klopp. But he's a stagnant, boring tactician. It's as simple as that. We are the most boring top side in Europe.
That sounds mad, you know.
But is it? Am I wrong?
Though. I mean, I kind of agree with Jamie.
We are the most boring top side in Europe because, and we've got a manager who's better than that. Klopp is a better manager than that. He can figure out them. Now, if he's got Pep Linders in his ear, do you remember Lord of the Rings when the wizard used to speak in the King's ear and make him old and he'd do anything he used to say like that? Is that what Pep Linders is doing to Jurgen constantly? You know, and he's just like,
we're blaming Pep Linders again. Is that what we're saying? Yeah? All right. 2 seconds.
Can I just touch on the Gravenberch thing though? Because
2 seconds. We're going to get into some super chats before that. 2 seconds. We've got Endman TV in the building. Thank you so much for the super chat. Saying firstly, drop a like, people. Bless up. the man them road to 2K, and he's saying, look, get this deal done ASAP. He will be cold for us. Yes, we need a 6 centre back, but get this one done. Singing off that same hymn sheet as Ish. And then we've got Aleja saying, let's get to 2K subs so JJ can drop some bars for us again. You see, this is why I'm scared. This is why I'm scared, because as soon as I go and, like my emotions come out, this is when I get clicked up. It happened with the, I spat bars. Now, if I'm having to do these watch-alongs as well, it's just going to be a problem for me, man. It's going to be
spitting bars about Endo, man.
It's mad. It's mad. Even Terry. Even Terry's waiting. Terry said he's waiting for the next one. He's waiting to click me up. So I just know it. I just know it. So it's.
See, this is why
it is what it is. But yeah, K-Mac, chat to us, man, about Gravenberch before we have a look at stats and that.
So we've all talked about, like, Gravenberch, like, is he going to play? Is he going to fit in the system? And the thought I've got is we still haven't got Thiago back, and we still haven't got Curtis Jones back. And my worry is there something around that Thiago injury that we don't know? And the reason why we probably are getting another multifunctional player, and one that can kind of do what Thiago does in the team, is because he's out longer, or Curtis Jones is out longer. Because look, Curtis Jones deserves a chance for me. He really does. Like, he had a brilliant end of the last season. And for us to start the season and to bench him and then to push him further down the pecking order when it's not deserved, and now we get Gravenberch in, this is probably going to take another spot. Like, it just feels like, I don't know, just feels like, just get rid of the lad. Just make 40 million off him. Like, sell him. Like, move him on to Crystal Palace or someone like that, like, where he can get game time. If you're just not going to play the lad, then just move him on. Because I'm fed up.
I think he's gonna play as well, though.
Players.
He's gonna play. I think at the moment, how many midfielders have we got? Eight or nine midfielders at the moment. I think it's not.
Never rotate. Like, at the moment, Elliott's the guy that comes on all the time.
Yeah, but K-Mac, like, you've seen how much we could get injuries throughout the season. Like, the season just started. Don't forget, we're
that's why I said about the Thiago thing and Jones.
Yeah, but the thing is, Thiago's going at the end of the season anyway. So getting Gravenberch in now for 30 million is not going to affect Thiago's game time too much in a year's time because he's off. So I feel like in that sense, it's actually like we're actually planning ahead for a change. But it's just the fact we're not getting a DM. If we got a DM in and we signed Gravenberch as well, no one care. Yeah, but end up Jamie. Like,
the thing is, though, this is my problem with everyone. Everyone keeps saying we haven't got a DM. You ain't got a DM. Jurgen Klopp wanted Wataru Endo. He went and got Wataru Endo.
Yeah, he did not want him to come and play 60 games a season as our starting DM. Like,
no,
no matter what Klopp says to you, you can't sell that one to me because.
But why didn't we get another one?
Yep, that's.
I think the Endo was meant to be like what Jota was with Thiago. We got Thiago, then a day later we got Jota. I think the plan was Lavia comes in and Endo comes in just straight after.
I believe that as well.
Yeah, me too.
Because that's how we do our transfers. That's where we praise the club.
Endo's meant to be like filling in for Milner, right back, centre back, a little bit of midfield as well. Like, there's no way anyone can tell me Klopp. Even Klopp said it himself, but you just can't sell that to me. He did not bring him in to be our 60 game a season starting DM week in, week out. Like,
a younger,
but there's a reason why. Yeah, there's a reason why he's been chilling at Stuttgart for the last 5-6 years, scrapping like in relegation fights. Like, he's a decent player, but this guy's not coming in to start for us every game. So
I agree. Gravenberch.
That's the Endo thing. You can't even be that annoyed with because it's not his fault. He's in a position now where he's going to be playing.
Endo. Dreams came true.
Exactly. He's looked all right. He's looked all right as well. I do think the fan base is overdoing the Endo thing a little bit. Like, he's just an average player who is going to work hard for us, but he's not crap, and he's not going to be the worst player on the pitch anytime he plays for us. Like, he's just a steady guy. But the Gravenberch one as well, it's the same thing as well. It's like the club, like the players getting blamed for like what the club's doing. Gravenberch is a good player, and I don't think him coming in is going to mean that Curtis Jones hasn't got a career anymore or Thiago's game time is going to be in trouble, because we've seen Thiago could come up against Villa on the weekend and go down again, and he's out for another 5-6 months. So for me, Gravenberch coming in is not a problem. It's just what are the club going to do next, and the fact that they're not going to get in another midfielder. That's the issue. The issue is not Gravenberch. Gravenberch is a decent baller.
Yeah, I think if anything as well. Remember, we always said, even last season, the season before, we would have had loads of depth in our team, and we wouldn't be really talking about, oh, is this midfield available or not, had they not been injury prone. So if Ox was available for the whole season, if Naby Keita was available for the whole season, Thiago was available for the whole season, the argument was that some people tried to tell me a couple of seasons ago that we would have won the quad.
Yeah.
Had those players been fit, we would have won the quad. Do you know what I mean? Had Konate been fit, had this person not dropped out at certain periods of times, we would have won everything. So if Gravenberch comes in and he's able to stay fit alongside Szoboszlai and McAllister, that technically, in terms of availability and what we've got at our disposal, actually improves Liverpool from that perspective, because we only really ever had one DM at Liverpool at any given time anyway, in Fabinho.
And look, our midfield's better this season than it is last season. That's just a fact. You know, we've upgraded our midfield. It's as simple as that. We go on about the midfield rebuild. If you look at it on paper, our midfield is better today than it was last season. It's as simple as that. It really is. Szoboszlai and McAllister are far better than any midfielder we had last season. Everyone rates and loves Thiago, injured or not, so he's in there. Everyone loves Stefan Bajcetic, so he's in there. You know, Gravenberch coming in, he's better than Ox or Naby, so that's better. So the midfield has been upgraded. There's no doubt about that. I'll put like they've upgraded this midfield in one summer. People might not like it, but they have. People might not like the players that have come in, but they're all more reliable. They've all got mobility, and they're all injury-free more than the players that we had last season. So if you look at it on paper, the midfield has been upgraded. The problem is the rest of the areas of the pitch. The thing we have in football nowadays, though, is fans won't like a player if it's not the player they like. And this is an issue we have in football now. People go, like, I've seen people like, oh, McAllister, I'm not sure. Szoboszlai, I've even seen the Szoboszlai, I'm not sure. I think people overrating him. You know, why aren't we getting Kone? Why aren't we getting Thuram? Give these players a chance, mate. Maybe our manager don't fancy Kone and Thuram. Has anyone ever thought of that? Has anyone ever thought of that? Our manager might not fancy
guy. Honest to fucking God, this guy.
Yeah, Thuram might not be the guy, Ram. He might not
Shut
be the guy.
Up, bro.
We got Garvin.
That was low.
I talked
low,
about
bro.
Thuram ages ago.
That was so low. That was actually hella low, JJ, bro. Come on, man.
Right, yeah, we got a super chat from Gaggin Deep. Shout out to Gaggin Deep saying Klopp only changes tactically when ish hits the fan to resurrect the season. Not proactive enough, hence not in the convo for Mount Rushmore of managers. Boy, I don't want to get into that conversation because we're going to be stuck for ages. And yeah, we got a letter saying that Colgate smile, Ram. Yeah, I mean, yeah, he knows. Yeah, I mean,
no, I know what JJ did. JJ, that was so low. I'm not going to forgive you for that, bro.
JJ, can you bring up that comment you starred at the bottom there? So I just need a comment on this.
Oh, this one here by Prigozhin's, yeah?
Yeah, I need a comment on this.
So
you do know,
yeah, Prigozhin said Jamie has lost his mind. Klopp doesn't know tactics. Did Jamie forget about Newcastle already? In Klopp, we effing trust. From doubters to believers.
Was you thinking that after 45 minutes when we get absolutely destroyed by Newcastle with the system we were playing? Just a question. Like, we were getting destroyed by Newcastle. It could have been 2 or 3-0 in that first half for Newcastle if they took their chances and were a bit more clinical. So, yes, we came back. And he tactically did a good job because guess what? He went to a more compact way of playing that suits Liverpool Football Club to play. But do we do this as football fans? Do we forget how shit we were at the beginning of that game and how tactically naive we were in that game and how we were getting destroyed all over the pitch? Yeah,
was it Jamie? Was it tactics though, or was it? Because for me, it didn't look like tactics. For me, because I watched the game.
You know what it was? Ish. He hit the chaos button.
But
that's what he did.
That first half against Newcastle, like I don't know if I can put it down to tactics. Like you look at how he went down a goal, individual error. Klopp did not go and tell Trent to let the ball roll under his foot. Yeah, for me it was an even game. We had chances as well before that. He did not tell Van Dijk to go and get sent off. Like those two moments.
Van Dijk got sent off. Like, You know why Van Dijk got sent off?
Yeah, because Robbo wasn't tucking in.
Because Van Dijk and that are so far high up the pitch where it don't suit them no more. If Van Dijk was 5 yards deeper, the whole back line was 5 yards deeper, and the midfield was 5 yards deeper in a more defensive position, Van Dijk would have been face on with Isaac. But because we're so high up, and Klopp just rates Virgil's pace that he hasn't got no more, he can't get back in a defensive position quick enough. So
for me, that's not Virgil, because even though he got back slowly, he had a chance to usher him away from the goal.
He didn't. Isaac was away, man. Isaac was.
He didn't tell him to go and swipe Isaac's legs though. Like Van Dijk, I think even Gary Neville said it on commentary. Van Dijk's not making that mistake 2 years ago because he's
in front of him. He's not right here.
Whether he's in front or behind him,
so high up, man.
Whether he's in front or behind him, he did not have to make that tackle.
I still think we sit here and blame people, and we're not blaming the right person constantly. The tactics are naff. Why are we?
One thing I would say,
who's easy to play against? Nottingham Forest or Liverpool?
The thing about it is we went into Chelsea with this inverted shite. I'm sorry, because it was, yeah. We then took it into Bournemouth, inverted shite, and then took it into Newcastle, inverted shite. Like, seriously, like, when is he going to learn? Like, the inverted shite does not work.
Was we inverted? I feel like
Trent looks a mess.
Right,
we can't have a right back learning how to play an inverted right back in the middle of a Premier League season, because he didn't do it in pre-season. Because he played a right back in a lot of the games in pre-season.
Came back. I don't even think
he played in DM. He played in the midfield for a lot of the games in pre-season, and he only started getting inverted.
We played a 4-3-3. He was playing the actual right back, because don't forget Gordon was coming out wide after he got the yellow card. I don't think Trent was even inverted that much.
For me though, the one thing I would say about the tactics, just to kind of, because I agree with Ish, but at the same time, because those mistakes are like, I can't say those are Klopp's problems.
Individual errors,
like Trent could have just blasted the ball away, or you could have just been more like, it happens that the ball can go under your foot. It's happened plenty of times. It's going to happen to someone plenty of times again. And then Virgil didn't have to make that challenge in it to go and put us, obviously, especially being the last man. You kind of know as a centre back what you should and shouldn't be doing. That's a bit rash from him. What I would say though is, in that game, we should have tried to go into that game and I think control that game a bit more. And what we tried to do instead is try to go that like press for press. Like they pressed us, we pressed them. And hence why Diaz, like I think it was like Gordon had a chance or someone out wide. And then all of a sudden we won the ball back and Diaz had a chance where he was running through everyone and almost had that chance. For me, it didn't have to be like that. Like we could have easily, like, you know, like if you were in the Champions League game, like, and we've played Atletico Madrid, they wouldn't even go and attack like that. They just go and try to keep the ball in their half and just kill the crowd off, make the crowd go dead, and then start building attacks. It's like we tried to go and have this amazing, great start, this fast start that we like we did against Chelsea where we scored that goal. But I don't think that's always the route to go down. I think you've got to be a bit more like conserve and be like, all right, cool, let's just try to conserve, just keep possession a bit, assert ourselves on the game in that regard, and then build on from that. I think if you're just going out and just trying to like run people down and stuff, especially if you haven't got the players to go and do it and you're trying to learn it, that's where you can get cut open a bit. Like Endo's still learning on the job. Do you know what I mean? Just come in. McAllister isn't that type of player. Szoboszlai is the only one in that midfield that looks like, he can seamlessly come in and do that kind of Gengen press, running, pressing man, really, really high up. Our forwards don't really do it the same way that they did before with Bobby and Mane. So that's where, for me, the tactics were a bit iffy. But at the same time, it was individual mistakes that got us into that position now.
Individual mistakes from bad tactics.
I don't know, man. Honestly, I watched the game back. It's not. I don't think it's as bad as people, as you guys are making it out to be, in the sense that like the game only swung in Newcastle's favour on both occasions because of what happened on the pitch with the players. It wasn't really like, I hear what JJ's saying about going toe to toe, but at the same time, say we went there and sat back and we're just getting smoked for like the first 15-20 minutes, just letting them attack us.
I wasn't saying smacked, but you know, like I wasn't saying smacked, but you know, like when we win the ball back, right? Like City win the ball back, but City don't go like win the ball back, but we've got the first pass has got to be over the top into that Diaz. Is
that personnel or during that tactics? Because for me, one thing I noticed that was pissing me from that first half, Robbo was just booting the ball up the line. I'm sure Klopp's not saying to him every time we get the ball, turn up over back to them. he just doesn't. He's just not technically of the level of a player that we need to get us out of a press. Which again, you can put it on Klopp and FSG for not getting the right player.
And all the players
in the game. I'm telling you now, Klopp's not telling Robbo to go and boot the ball. Like he was just getting the ball and booting it. He was just getting the ball and booting it. Like Klopp was even going mad at it on the touchline. Like you can't really legislate for that on the pitch for a player to just be that bad technically that they can't make a 5-yard pass to the.
Well, don't blame him. Don't blame him. Simple. Don't blame him. This is why I don't know. This is why I'm confused. Because I agree with you. I think some of these players are shit, yeah, and they shouldn't be playing. But Klopp plays them every week, continuously. You're right. Robbo shouldn't be making them mistakes continuously. But guess what? He plays. You know, Tsimikas makes one mistake and Klopp makes that like he's his step kid and never wants to talk to him again. Right?
Tsimikas
Robbo continuously makes mistakes. This is why I'm confused by everything, because you are right, and everyone in chat's right. A lot of these players have got to hold their head up, and they're making mistakes constantly. Trent has been diabolical at right back for 18 months now. Every team in Europe has fanned Liverpool out and knows what to do against Trent. Anthony Gordon cooked him. Anthony Gordon cooked Trent. Everyone's cooking Trent right now. But we're not doing anything to help Trent. Last season, I was told, it's Jordan Henderson. Because Jordan Henderson's not the player he was anymore, he can't cover for Trent anymore because he ain't got the mobility. Once you get that covering for him, Szoboszlai's doing it now. He's covering for him.
Again, though, Jamie. I don't even think quickly with Trent. Again, I don't even think he's getting cooked that much. I don't think
he wasn't getting cooked. I don't think he was getting cooked.
Trent's mistakes this season, he's had 2 errors leading to goals. It's been him just poor laps of
guys, the common denominator is Trent in the position that he makes the mistakes. Yeah. If he's not playing inverted, he's not in that position. He's not there.
No.
He's not in the centre of defence. He's not in the DM in midfield, because that's what he made
He had to go and cover. He had to go and cover.
If he's played as a right back, if he's played as a right back like he was under the usual Klopp system, then we won everything. It'd be far wide. It'd be further up the pitch. It'd be where Robbo was.
No, because we lost the ball. He'd have to go and cover Gordon anyway.
That's where the DM would be.
What happened there? Bournemouth, but not the Newcastle one. The Newcastle one.
The Bournemouth one. Exactly. With the Newcastle one, Gordon span off him. Gordon's on his right shoulder, and he's pressing him, and he just misplaced the pass. He's in defence. Like as a right back, you're going to go and do that. And then even with the Verd situation, he's gone and Gordon's cut inside, and he's had to run back into defence. Like that's a right back has to go and do that. I don't think
he was the last man as a right back. That wasn't a set piece.
But that happens. But that happens. Look at that. That happens as a right back, though.
We know.
Look where Robbo is in that position.
Look at the Champions League.
Look where Robbo is.
Out of position. You have to look at Virgil's position as well.
Ideally, when you lose the ball,
you have to look at Matip. Why isn't Matip there? That's where Matip's supposed to be. Matip's supposed to be in that position.
He went aggressive because at that point he went aggressive and pressed the man, and then he didn't get back to his position. He didn't go back to his centre-back position. That's why you expect your right back to come in and cover for that area. Just almost be a little bit of a back three in a sense.
Guys, I promise you.
I guess we're talking about the goal, if I'm not mistaken.
The ball rolled under his foot. Like, that's not a tactical error. You expect any professional footballer of any level to be able to...
It's a concentration error, bro.
It wasn't fizzed into him. It was just concentration. We've seen this with Trent before at right back. Look at the Champions League final when Vinicius ran off him. Is that because he was playing right back?
It was a bad pass by Mo. I ain't going to lie.
Bad pass or not, like he should.
No, it's not the right pass. It's not the right pass if you're trying to go and build up. But I'm sorry, but you have to control that. Like the keepers get that ball all the time, and they just put their foot through the ball, innit? Like all he's got to do there is put his foot through the ball. Like in hindsight, nine times out of 10 as well. 9 times out of 10, Trent takes a touch, even drops a shoulder or does some little turn, gets out of it and plays a pass. Like that happens all the time. It's just that was just a calamitous mistake. That's not going to happen every single week. That's what I can't attribute that to the system.
It's happened 2 in 3 games now.
Yeah, but
it wasn't the same thing.
Do you think it's going to happen again?
It's on Trent.
Do you think it's going to happen again?
Most likely.
What's going to happen at Villa?
Roll under his foot.
No, do you think he's going to make another mistake at Villa at home? He's got Matip and Gomez as his centre backs now.
Probably because he makes mistakes.
If he's on 2 and 3, the chance of doing 3 and 4.
Why are we playing players that make mistakes then? This is what Jamie's trying to say.
No, but every player. No, but
should
the
be dragging these
idea.
players off the pitch.
No, but
Like,
the
they should be not playing the next game.
every player makes mistakes. Salah missed a damn penalty. Everyone's grilling him about that. McAllister in that game against Newcastle was probably our worst midfielder.
He was catching shadows.
He looked like he was treading water. Like I mean, he looked like if anyone was grilling Endo about him not being able to recover, McAllister looked worse than him. Gakpo's been missing. Gakpo's been missing for 2 games. Gakpo's been missing to 2 games. Before Nunes scored the goal, Nunes made a mistake and controlled the ball backwards when he was through on goal.
They almost scored from that as well.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Players are going to make mistakes. But I just think, and the thing is, this is what I'm saying, is that I hear the system. Like, I agree. Like, I'm saying that I think the tactic going into that game to try go and like out-press them or outrun them, I think was wrong. I think with the players that we've got, we should have tried to assert more control on the ball. But I don't think the goals came from having a poor system, if that makes sense. That was more kind of either an instruction or the players just losing their heads.
Yeah. Look, the players, you're right. Look, Trent, our problem with Trent the last couple of years is that his mistakes cost us goals a lot of the time, right? And that is why we've been angry with Trent recently. Now, is that a Trent problem in the way the system's set up at the moment? Would Trent, this is the thing we got to try and chat about, really. Would Trent make less mistakes defensively if the system was tweaked a little bit? You know, it was changed a little bit. Because I feel for Trent a little bit. I think we're asking him to do too much at times for the player he is. Now, we're asking him to be a right back and a central midfielder at the same time. So Trent's thinking, right, I've got to be a central midfielder now, then I've got to be a right back. No one else in our pitch has got the instruction that Trent has to do every single game. So I do feel for Trent at times. So, but he keeps, it's always when we can see goals, we're always looking at Trent because it's usually coming from Trent's side of the pitch. Yeah, it's usually coming because Trent's so far up the pitch and you watch the replays and he's like power walking back into position until the butts in the gut. And we all do videos about it and we all go mad about it. So my argument is that if Trent is conceding, if he's a defender, and that's what he is, a defender, and he's conceding chances to goals as much as he is, then he should be dropped. But our problem is we don't seem to want to buy another right back to release Trent, to put him in a more advanced position and use his skill set better for him. You know, his skill set, what's his skill set better at? Attacking and controlling the game and his passing, or defending? It's the latter. It's the other one, ain't it? He get me more forward positions. I've always said it with footballers: hide their weaknesses and show their strengths. And at the moment, what I think we're doing with Trent in the system we're playing, we're showing Trent's weaknesses too much and not enough of his strengths right now.
Thing is, though,
and that's an issue.
For me, Trent's weakness is not even his defending. Like I haven't checked the stats, but from watching Trent week in, week out, I did not see him get roasted by wingers like throughout the game constantly. For me, it's just it's concentration. That's his issue. And wherever you put him on the pitch, we've seen him in midfield. He made an error lead into a goal against Bournemouth because he's in a DM role. We saw him making an error lead into a goal in a right back role. The common denominator is not which position he's in; it's the fact that he's losing concentration to let us leak goals. So for me, it's like you can't really. Wherever you put him on the pitch, it looks like he's going to be making these mistakes. So it's like, well, we can't drop him. So we need to put some pressure on Trent here to actually improve this, because Klopp can play over on the pitch. Even if he plays a right wing, he'll probably give the ball away and it'll lead to a goal. You'll be able to trace it back that way. It's on Trent. He's 24 now, vice captain. Got booked inside like 2 minutes. He could have got a red card inside 5 minutes against Newcastle. Like, we need to be actually looking at Trent as a player here, not where Klopp's playing him and all this, like this, that, and the other, because we've seen now he's played 2 positions and we're still talking about him in the same way, but it's not from a sense that he's getting cooked like he did against Matoma. It's not like this every week.
It's something that he can control as well.
Yeah, he can control.
This is what I've been saying all this time. Maybe didn't word it as well as this just said there, but that's what I've been trying to say all this time. We got to really think about Trent as a player for Liverpool, in my opinion, because he's not undroppable. You know, if he continues to do this mentally, where he's checking out of games and his concentration levels are not up to scratch and it's costing us goals continuously, then why can't we sit here as Liverpool fans and go, right, we'll go have a serious conversation about Trent then?
because the manager's not giving us a viable option. So
There you
when
go.
you look at
Another thing I said
up
earlier.
front, that's what I'm saying. So up front, we've got 5 forwards where we've got options. Like, do you know what I mean? If I don't like Nunes, I put Jota in. Ish might not like Jota, he prefers Gakpo in there, as an example. Like, do you know what I mean? We've got options at right back. Anytime we've had an option, they're either not good enough, they get loaned out, or they're just a bit like a kind of just like a meh, like Gomez, meh. But then we bought Calvin Ramsey. What happened to him? What happened to him?
Klopp didn't
What
want
happened
him.
to him?
loaned out.
Klopp didn't want him. Klopp
Exactly. So,
Oh yeah, by the way, Conor Bradley's out for the rest of the season.
Right,
Yeah,
so-
he's out till December, ain't he? This is my thing. This is my thing with Trent. I'm not even dissing Trent on the ball and going forward and what he can do on the ball attacking wise. There's not many people better, in my opinion, on the ball and what he can do. He can cut open teams like that. He's one of the best passers in the Premier League. So I'm always like, when I watch Trent, I've been bashing this drum for a while. I just want to see Trent maybe in positions on the pitch that will just suit him more to his attacking side of the game. Because I always feel like Trent will always win Trent will get us more points with his ability going forward and what he does with the ball than he will cost us defensively. But at the moment, because he's not really getting forward in attacking positions right now, he's costing us defensively. And that's where I think we've got to look at it personally.
Yeah, I hear that.
But look, the thing about that is what have we won under Trent playing it as a right back? Everything.
Yeah,
he's broke all kinds of records. He consistently provides so many chances, so many assists. We don't need him in midfield anymore. We've just signed Sabolsai and McAllister, and we're about to get Gravenberch. We don't need Trent in midfield. So just play him as the attacking right back that he is, that he's done everything with. We've won everything under, and just go back to square one. And if you need to use your midfielder as a runner to support him, then do it. I don't care. Like, at the end of the day, we won everything because of the structure, because of the system. Like, we're starting to look like a pile of shite now. And we're going to drop out of the top 5.
Yeah, but
if
you
we
can't
carry on changing this system, which we've won everything under.
But we have to change because teams are privy to us how we're going to play. We're not going to be 10 men down every single game, even though it's happened twice in a row now. We've bought players that are now more offensive. You can't have an attacking right back in Trent and then have Szoboszlai that's attacking down the right wing as well when people want it more advanced, creating, popping shots inside the box, and then also covering the defense. It just doesn't work like that.
You don't play Trent then. So you don't play Trent. You get a defensive right back.
Yeah, I just don't ever see that happening with having Trent in your team.
But that's what suits the system now. But that's what suits the system now. 2 defensive right backs and left backs suits our system.
Yeah, but Robert's not a defensive left back either, and Robertson was having a poor game going forward as well.
You can't have an offensive right back and left back and all offensive midfielders. How's that going to work?
That's why they're trying to go and have Trent come inverted, so you've got 3 players that are more defensive.
I'm telling you, we're going to be talking about this after Aston Villa. To
be fair, I think we're like agreeing in a way that there is an issue with Trent. There is an issue with Trent. I think we're all aware of that. But look, at the end of the day, on the positive side of things, we've got 7 points in our first 3 games, 2 difficult away games to start with. If we beat Villa on the
2 red cards.
Yeah, 2 red cards, and if we beat Villa on the
3
weekend,
heart attacks.
If we beat Villa on the weekend, we've got 10 points out of 12 games in our first 4 matches, which is better than
isn't bad. It's on par. It will be on par with Arsenal. If Arsenal win on the weekend, Arsenal, who people are saying are title contenders, were on par with them. So
let's put a positive. We're hitting your target, JJ. The manager's hitting your target. The manager will be hitting your target.
Yeah, he would. He would. He would. Yeah. Shout out to everyone. Shout out to everyone. We're 20 subscribers away from 2K. So please, anyone that's watching, please make sure we are subscribing. We've been talking about Trent for a long time, man. But obviously, this is about Gravenberch. We need to get the stats up. And what I'm going to do, and I think is important, we were linked with Lavia. Lavia was the guy that we wanted. I know we went in for Caicedo, but Lavia was the one that we were flirting with for a long time. I said, I actually want to go and compare Lavia and Gravenberch and see how they go and fix up and how do you know what I mean? How they match up. Maybe Ram wants this. Do you know what I mean Dutch stroke German? Do you know what I mean?
No, he's not German, bro. Stop it.
I said /German. I said Dutch.
He's not. He
German.
doesn't have. He doesn't.
I've been educated for a year under the German tutelage of Nagelsmann and Tuchel, bro. Is what it is. Is what it is.
Go. How many games did he play under them, bro? Yeah.
How many training sessions did he have under them, bro? That's where you learn as well, you know.
Yeah, and he's always kicking up a fuss in the training session, bro.
Exactly, because he's Dutch. He's not German. But that's besides the point. 2 seconds, people. I'm just trying to share this. Just going to remove this banner as well. Bear me 2 seconds. Guys, almost 500 people in the chat. Please make sure we are smashing a like. Ideally, we'd want 470 likes. 470 likes, please, please, please. But as we can see
480 people in the chat.
Yeah.
Bro, we should be on 2K right now. I swear to God, we should be on 2K right now. We should be on 2K. Subscribe, people, man.
But look, people, this is what we've done. Because as Ramos said, Ryan Gravenberch didn't have the best of seasons in terms of games played last year. He played about 4 games in the league. So I think it'll be I think he played like 400 minutes, which would be unfair to compare him to obviously Lavia. But interestingly enough, Ryan Gravenberch is 21, right? So he was 20 by the time he finished his last season at Ajax. It's the same age that Lavia was for his first season at Southampton, both in obviously the top leagues. So I think it's important to obviously just analyze their first kind of proper seasons in kind of first team football and see how they compared. And obviously the stats are per 90 people. So it's going to be interesting to go and see how they kind of average out. So as we're seeing here, Gravenberch played 30 games in his penultimate season his penultimate season for Ajax before moving to Bayern Munich. Lavia played 29 games, obviously per 90, so the minutes played will be 90. As we're seeing here, Gravenberch obviously playing for Ajax, which are a better team, had a substantial amount of more touches per 90. 56 for Lavia, 81.2 for Gravenberch. Looking at ball recoveries, really interesting. Gravenberch played as a more of an 8 as opposed to a DM, as we've seen, as I've mentioned to you guys. Gravenberch actually played 40% or just under 40% of his games as a DM in a double pivot for Ajax. A lot of those games were as a number 8. Lavia played a lot of the time as a kind of lone number 6. But we're seeing here 7.6 recoveries for Lavia, 5.9 for Gravenberch, averaging out at 0.1 goals a game. But Ryan Gravenberch, as we're seeing in a more advanced role, more chances created as 1.4 to 0.7. His expected assists as well are higher at 0.3 to 0. Passes attempted, 20 passes more for Gravenberch, 60 to 40. Passing accuracy, though, and it kind of makes sense, is a bit better for Lavia. However, he's playing further forward, so the passes must be, I would assume, are a bit more difficult for a Ryan Gravenberch as opposed to a Lavia. We're seeing their through balls attempted very, very similar. Passes completed in the opposition half, 35.3 to 18.2. So he is much more of an 8, as we're seeing here. Forward passing, 16.7 to 11.4 in favour of Gravenberch. 11 backward passes to 6.3 backward passes for Lavia per 90, with 2 aerial duels contested as opposed to 0.8 for Lavia. 1.5 of them won to 0.4 for Lavia. So he's much better in the air, passing the ball much, much more frequently, with an aerial duel success of 64.81 to Romeo Lavia's 44%. So from that perspective, even from a defensive standpoint, those stats look a bit better. He's contesting in more ground duels by 0.1, but similar, really similar in terms of the ground duels. The ground duels won, the percentages are really similar, 56.25 to 57.8, although it's in favour of Lavia, still really, really similar as players. And then in terms of clearances, again, very, very similar, 0.8 to 1 in favour of Lavia, and then interception 0.8 to 1.4. So Lavia just shaded him there in regards to interceptions. Now, Ram, looking at those stats, does it make sense? Does the Gravenberch signing make sense?
Yeah.
They seem like a similar player. Like, the stats aren't too far apart.
They seem similar. I think the only big difference is probably the passes and the aerial duels contested. But again, it's like he's about 20 centimeters taller than Lavia. Like I think Gravenberch is 1.93, like 6'3", 6'4". So he's good couple of inches taller than Lavia. But from the looks of things, in terms of their actual styles of play, it looks really good. But again, I have to ask you, how long ago was this? This was two seasons ago. Like, a lot can happen in 2 seasons, and we've seen so many times where players even had one bad run with a big club and they just don't look the same player. Renato Sanchez sticks to mind. I think only now he's got on a resurgence after about 4 or 5 years of being sort of so-called washed. So, yeah, from the looks of things, stats-wise, yeah, it looks good. It looks the same as Lavia, but again, my main worry is he hasn't played a lot of football for Bayern Munich. There must be something with that. They need a 6. They've been looking for a 6 as well. Goretzka ain't a 6. Kimmich ain't a proper 6 like that. He is more of a dictating 6. And he could be the perfect so-called destroyer for him, but he don't play. So there must be something up with that. That's my main issue. The stats say something else, but again, stats versus eye test, man.
Yeah. Ish, looking at those stats, they're in favor of you a bit. Obviously, you were saying Gravenberch is a good player. Could we see maybe Gravenberch being converted then into that DM potentially and doing what Jamie's saying, where he's going to play majority of the games and he's the guy, and Endo's the steady Eddie, kind of dependable, reliable DM, and it's like, if we need to shut out a game, he comes on.
Yeah.
If we need to be a bit more defensive, if there's an injury, he comes on, and we know from a defensive standpoint, he's got the experience. He's played multiple games as a DM. Regardless of how good he is, he knows what he's doing in that position.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, looking at the stats, you can see, anyone can see that he's clearly a good player, and he's got all the kind of physical attributes as well, like Ram was saying. But for me, whether he's a success is going to be down to his attitude, but not in the sense of like, I want to say he's got a bad attitude because I don't know him like that, but more like, is he going to have the determination to be like a Fabinho? Because let's not forget as well, Fabinho wasn't the most athletic. He was physically imposing, but he didn't run about the pitch like a Kante kind of thing. So is he going to have that sort of defensive awareness to kind of get about the pitch and like intercept more? His interceptions were kind of okay, but I think that's an area he can improve on as well. But it looks all right on paper. For me, it's just like, can Gravenberch go from a player who's played pretty much no football last season to potentially being our starting midfielder week in, week out? I don't know, but I'd like to think that Klopp has done his homework. So far, this window has kind of been 50-50. We look at Szoboszlai and McAllister, and they look like they're kind of fitting straight away. Endo, you're looking at like, he might fit in personality-wise, but is he going to be able to quality to start? Probably not. That's why they're looking at Gravenberch as well. So we got to just hope that Klopp has done his homework enough on this player, and the recruitment is going to be right from a sort of fit in terms of like attributes that aren't physical ones. But we just have to wait and see. What is encouraging is that there's clearly been a player like that we've been linked with for a while. It's not like an Endo which has come out of nowhere and it's like, this is a bit of a panic. This one's probably like not our first choice. It's probably second or third, but you know it's not a panic signing in the sense that they've been looking at him for a while. So any concerns that we should have about whether he's going to fit in or whether he's going to be like have the right attitude, Klopp should already have done his homework by now. So we just got to wait and see how it pans out. But going by stats and stats alone and hoping that he can kind of rediscover this form, the signing looks all right. It looks all right on paper, but we just got to wait and see.
So the thing about that, I agree with Jamie as well. Like, you know, if Klopp gets him, then he's got all the players he wants, because he wanted Endo and he wanted Gravenberch for the last 3 years. However, how does he fit in the system? So is he gonna come into the DM position where Fabinho was, and then you're going to bring Trent into the double pivot? So is Trent going to be given more defensive duties? Well, that's not going to work because he's not very good at defending. So you're expecting Gravenberch to be a defender, to be an enforcer, to be a destroyer, just like Fabinho was. Well, his stats don't add up to that. Like, he's got the height. Yeah, okay, yeah, he did quite well at Ajax, Ajax play a completely different system, and also Ajax is like a farmers' league. Like, you don't know what you're going to get from Ajax. You genuinely don't. You can ask Newcastle that, because they signed a load of players that didn't make it. There's a lot of Premier League teams that have signed players from Holland that haven't made it. And that's why they end up going to like Italy or France.
I mean,
so for me, I don't know. I think it's a risk when they're going to replace him with Palhinha, who just slots straight in, does that job. Big lad, really good at tackling. I think he was the #1 DM in the Premier League last season. Completely proven. Portuguese international.
Rodriguez.
Oh, sorry, was he? I thought it was like pressing.
Palhinha had the most tackles in the league last
year.
Pressing tackles, which is what we need. The only question as well, and Ish touched on it. You've got 3 managers now that didn't want him. Like, ask that question, and that's an interesting question. You've got Nagelsmann, who I see as a Klopp replacement. I would have liked him as soon as he left Bayern, to be fair. He could have been great for a rebuild for us, but that's my opinion. And then you've also got Thomas Tuchel, who played defensive midfielders at Chelsea. So he knows what he's looking for in a DM. Doesn't fancy him. And then you've got Ten Hag, who sold him. Like, he didn't sell him for much, by the way, 16 million. So I don't know. But for me, more bodies in the door is great. But if we're paying that money for then Bayern to then go and buy the guy who is perfect for us for the next 4 years in Palhinha, then I have no idea what we're doing. We're not filling the team with the right players.
I mean, interestingly enough, what I've done, because obviously you spoke about the fact that he played, obviously, you saying in Ajax, obviously the Eredivisie being a potential farmers league, which some people could argue 100%. A lot of people would agree with you. I've compared Gravenberch's stats from the Champions League that season, where he played 8 times.
Wow. I didn't realize that.
And they're very.
He was 19 then, wasn't he?
Yeah, same age as Romeo Lavia.
And they're very similar. I mean, look, he played 8 times, so obviously the goals are similar. His expected assists are higher. His chances created are higher. More passes attempted. His accuracy is better. The touches, he has more touches. The ball recoveries hasn't got as many, but then he plays a bit more advanced as well. More passes in the opposition half, almost 10 more. Forward passes, similar. More backwards passes, so he's controlling the game a bit more. He's winning more aerial duels. His success is higher by 20%. 10 aerial ground duels contested to 9.7. So in terms of ground duels, it's really similar. Losing out a bit less to Romeo Lavia, but it's only by 0.6. That's not massive. You've got to take context into it. And then clearances actually have more clearances. Interceptions, again, really similar, 0.8 to 1.4. So maybe, I mean, if we can get a player that at that same age are performing at a similar rate, and it's a player that's got more experience at the top level, has trained now, obviously, at a Bayern Munich, so has played with better players, even though he didn't get to play, he still has that in him. And has played in the Champions League, that potentially on paper could be a better player.
Yeah.
Lavia. What's that?
Ram, I'm 42. I can't read that.
read it out, Ram. Read it out. One second, Ram. 1 second. Read it out for us. Go on. Read it out. Breaking news. Go on.
So, Florian Plattenberg from Germany said Bayern have reached a total verbal agreement with Joao Palhinha, as reported and confirmed again. Contracts at least until 2028. Bayern is willing to pay 50 to 60 million euros. Fulham has informed Marcus Silva that he wants to join Bayern immediately. Negotiations are ongoing. It's going to happen. It's going to happen because now he said he wants to go. It's going to happen. Yeah. Palhinha is moving to Bayern Munich, and we may be funding it.
Just over 40 million quid.
Good. We're getting the better.
Now, but when it comes to Bayern will get a cut price deal because they're not Premier League.
Yeah, that could have been 75, 80 for us.
Yeah.
Let's
Arsenal will get like a Premier League tax on top of that. So
We need
Palhinha in that DM
hang on, before we
position,
carry
we
on,
are back
guys.
in business.
Before we carry on, we all got to congratulate JJ's.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
Big up,
Thank you so
big up.
much. Thank you so
Congrats
much.
on 2K, bro.
Yeah, well done,
It's
man.
mad. It's mad.
Drop some bars now.
I
can't drop bars now. I'm gonna have to do that for the watch on. If I do it now, then everyone's gonna be like, "Do you know what I mean?" I need to. This time I need to think of something a bit more. Do you know what I mean? Let me get. I've got my notebook from back in the day. It's probably somewhere in like, do you know what I mean, my mum's house, my little notes, my bars that I used to go studio and stuff. So maybe I might have to drop something, man. But appreciate obviously everyone reaching the 2K. It means that the watch alongs are dropping, and it's gonna get scary.
JJ's looking forward to it, man.
And I have that Gravenberch Lavia comparison you did. I think it's quite good actually, because as you said, you did it when he was back at Ajax, and he was the same age as Lavia is now. So that was when they're at the same age then. I think when I look at Gravenberch, I've been like anyone who's watched me on my channel for over a year. I've been wanting Gravenberch since he was at Ajax to come to Liverpool. I love the guy. He's an exceptional footballer with a really high ceiling. We've got to remember he was that next crop of young players spoken about with Bellingham and Camavinga and players like this. You know, when he was at Ajax, that everyone wanted. He had a really high ceiling. That's why Bayern Munich went in for him in the first place, because of that. It's just not worked for him there. I personally think Jurgen Klopp will get something out of Ryan Gravenberch. I know I've had a go at Klopp today, but I still see what he can do. I think with players, sometimes I think Klopp can get hold of Gravenberch and make him a superstar. I really do. I think he can make Gravenberch a superstar. I personally think he's got to be that defensive player for Liverpool more than that number 8. But at the same time, Liverpool haven't really got a lot of number 8s. So we do need Gravenberch anyway. You know, Szoboszlai is more of a 10 and a left winger. You know, McAllister would rather play a bit more further forward than doing the defensive work. So all the midfielders we got, really, Gravenberch was needed for that number 8 role in reality, if you want to play players in their real positions. So I rate Gravenberch. I think he's a good player, man. And I think I don't understand the issues with some Liverpool content creators anyway, because I've been hearing, well, if he's not better than McAllister and Szoboszlai, why would you get him in? Has anyone ever had a squad that we need? Look, our subs bench after the international break could be, if Endo starts still, our subs bench after the international break could be Ryan Gravenberch, Jota, Darwin Núñez, Stefan Bajcetic, Thiago, Joe Gomez, Queven Kelleher, Joel Matip. That's a stronger bench in one summer than we had last season. So we need a squad. It's a squad game at the end of the day. And I think Ryan Graham coming into the team will do a job. I really do. I don't understand why everyone's so down about it. I don't get it.
I don't disagree with that, but it's the fact that Palhinha is going the opposite way. Who's the guy?
I think he's dog shit. I think he's dog shit. He's not a footballer. He's just a tackler. I don't think he's great.
But Jamie, Bayern wouldn't be signing a DM that isn't a footballer for 60 to 70 M's. Like they just would never do it.
Different league, though. I think.
But that's like Kane. Then they wouldn't have signed Kane for that.
Well, everyone. If we go by that, then everyone's slagging off the Gravenberch signing because he didn't play at Bayern, but Bayern saw something in Gravenberch to buy him from Ajax in the first place. So I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that.
You could also twist it, but you could also twist it by saying that was part of the old regime, which the Bayern fans hated and still hate to this day.
Well, they hate the Pep regime, don't they?
Well, they hate everything. That's not Hansi Flick, but yeah. But you could twist it like that. That he was a signing made by Carl and Halimidovic. I don't know how to say his name. It's Halimidovic or something like that.
But it's obviously saying in Palhinha that Liverpool didn't like because we never went.
Age and price. I'm telling you, if Palhinha was available for 15 M's, the same way Endo was, we'd be all over that, man. All over it like a dog.
We should have looked Sporting then.
A spag bowl.
But then why did we go for him before he went to Fulham? When he
I didn't even know Fulham.
But it's because we had Fabinho though. Think about it. We've never.
We only want one DM in our squad. So
we've only ever had one DM in our squad.
That's the issue, ain't it? That's the issue. Like
and backup.
Ever.
That's it.
Yeah. We don't.
DM and cover.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't like backups in our squad. That's the problem. We don't like backups in our squad. We got no real right back backup. We got no DM backup.
It's the core. It's like we don't really have. It's like we never really had a backup until Verge got injured. We never had a backup for Verge like that. Yeah, remember, our backup for Alisson until Kelleher came through was Adrian, and that was garbage. That was just like because you need one on the bench, innit? Like you can't just have one keeper. Verge, we had no real backup for him, even though we had players in the squad that could play at centre back.
Oh,
there's no real
Yarosh
backup.
was a third keeper, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was Yarosh, exactly. So we had no real backup. We had no real backup for Verge. There's no real backup for Fabinho. There was never a backup for Bobby like that, ever, in terms of what you could do. So when Bobby was missing, we felt it because we started playing Shaqiri on the right, Salah up top, and it didn't work. And we had Divock. I mean, Klopp never really rated him like that, clearly. And then we have no backup for Salah either at right wing because they're just going to play. And I think it's the spine. I think it's the way Klopp likes it. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know, man.
And that's another thing. No, we got offered Enzo Fernandez for 15 million, and we turned that down. So this is an issue. It's been an issue within our team for quite a while now that we don't have position.
It is, man.
Good enough backup. But look, the midfield.
I'll still go to look at South America, bro. So many talents in South America. I'll just be like, go and look over there. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Federico Redondo's son.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of him.
He's got Real Madrid written away. He's got Real Madrid written away.
Yeah, he does. But again, you can dream, bro. You can dream.
But he's 20. Why can't Liverpool go over there now?
I'm going to get. Yeah, quick one, people. I'm going to get into obviously some of the comments. There's loads of comments flying in. Guys, again, massive thank you for getting me for 2K. That is massive. There's still over 500 people in the stream.
Big up, man.
Please make sure we're smashing a like. There's at 250 likes. Can we get to 300 likes? That would be amazing. We got Gagging Deep here as well with a comment from earlier. Can I get this up? What's going on? StreamYard sometimes, man.
There you go.
Is it there?
Yeah.
Oh, I can't see it. But anyway, I'm going to read it.
Shall I read it out for you?
Yeah, read it out. Yeah, you read it out. Go on.
Vujovic coach rock and roll, direct gegenpress football. The positional style of football is Linda's influence, which Klopp enables. Fair enough.
But it's funny though. Is Linda's? But if Liverpool are planning for Linda's to have a larger role in the team, like remember, Klopp and Linda's aren't like Jason Tindall and Eddie Howe, where they've done everything together, and it's just like me and my number two, like Vujovic and Klopp were. Vujovic and Klopp were like, we just roll together anywhere we go until they had their obviously falling out. Linda's at one point is going to want to kind of spread his wings, so to speak. Like,
but he tried. No, but JJ, he tried to, and it fell flat. Fell very, very flat.
We say that, but go on.
Because he went to Porto for a bit and it didn't work out. Then he went to NEC.
And we're playing Pep Linders' system that he played there as well, by the way.
Yeah.
And absolutely. Then did he go to ADO Den Haag?
That one.
He did.
Yeah.
And he didn't do well there. So maybe it's the case.
Guys, I'm sorry, but the next manager is Pep Linders. It is. Everything is gearing up to it. There's now been an article which has come out. You can have a look online. I'll send you the link. And George Smack's been interviewed, and he says that his assistant in director of football is Jurgen Klopp. They are both doing the job together, and he's going to discuss his contract at the end of the season.
Whose contract?
All these guys, they're all Klopps. He's got his team. Finally.
Yeah, I mean, listen. At the end of the window, 100%, we're gonna have to assess where we think Liverpool are gonna do, and we're 100% gonna go and do it. So, fact. We got Noobs GTV saying the problem is he wants everyone to be multifunctional. That's in regards to Klopp. Trent Alexander-Arnold as a mid, Gomez as a centre back or right back, Nunes as a left winger or striker, Gakpo as a centre mid, left winger or centre forward. It's terrible management, jack of all trades, master of none.
Do you know what? I agree with that. And the fact that when we're at our best, that idea never seeped to the first team. The core never seeped to the core. It was always, that was the core. And then everyone around it plays their part. Everyone around is more the multifunctional. Henderson would be a DM or a centre midfielder. Milner will play right back or centre mid or whatever. And then everyone else, Shaqiri will play on the right at times, probably play in the centre at times. Origi played as a striker, then a left winger. But now that's starting to come into the first team, and it's not meant to happen. That's why I have to criticise Klopp on that. Why we shouldn't have multifunctional players in the first team. It should be the backups. The backups are the multifunctional players.
Well, you should buy players that are multifunctional. Don't buy players that can't be.
Yeah,
you know, just
try and make them. That's another thing as well. If we're buying players that are multifunctional, don't buy players that can't be, and then you're trying to force them into roles that they can't do. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, imagine getting Shaqiri and asking him to play like as a wing back or something. It's just, it wouldn't make any sense. We've got Luke O'Neill saying Piero Hincapie. Listen,
this could happen. Yeah,
baller,
decent player. I like him.
Hell yeah,
I like him. He's Ecuadorian, so I don't know if, like, in my family household, I don't think he'll be revered as highly as Luis. But good, man. He's good.
I will tell you something about him now. I will tell you something about him. His agent is Caicedo's.
I think he just dropped him, though. That's what I heard.
As you just dropped him, good.
Yeah.
We might get a chance then.
Michael talks football, saying this is 16-17 vibes. We're going to try and outscore every opponent. That's how it's looking like at the moment. We've got the Football Talk podcast. Big up to yourselves, saying Gravenberch has the ability to play either as a 6 or an 8. He's a ball carrier and plays progressive football. Defensively, he's solid and holds the ball off players very, very well. He'll be a great signing. Yeah, it might be that genie signing, you know. He might be able to go and kind of keep that. He won't be a 6, but will be more defensive of the 8s when he plays. I don't know. We'll have to.
He's the first time we've signed a genie replacement.
Yeah. Quick question, for everyone in the chat and you guys as well. I want Ish to answer this actually as well. Could we see, there's links with obviously Salah leaving, Salah going to Saudi Arabia. I'm not saying it's going to happen this window, but it looks very likely it will probably happen next summer, especially if Liverpool don't win anything. Look, if Liverpool win something major, I think he goes. And I think if Liverpool finish outside the top 4, he goes. So, because obviously, if he was to win something major, it's like, cool, I've done everything I can. I've done it again. We've won the Premier League or the Champions League. I'm going to go out on that note. If we don't manage to get into the Champions League, that means we didn't really do well in the league. And it's like, cool, that's it. I can't do anymore. Like, this team needs to move on without me. Could we see a scenario, where Szoboszlai plays out on the right as a right winger because he's done that already, and Gravenberch comes into the midfield, and Liverpool look to go and get a DM next summer FC? Because the way it's looking to me, we're talking about multifunctional midfielders. I can see a world, like, think about it. Elliott will have now 3 seasons under his belt, like full seasons under his belt as a centre mid at Liverpool. So if he's not good enough, he'd have to be moved on. But I don't see that happening. I think Klopp likes him at this moment in time. We've got Curtis Jones still. We've got Bajcetic, who's obviously going to have more games under his belt this season.
Oh, JJ, you gave me a huge migraine.
McAllister, Endo's still there. That might be it,
Nah, JJ, you're actually giving me a migraine right now, bro. Oh my God. Oh no.
Could you see that happening?
Apparently, there's a really lot of rumours at the moment that City are allowing Calvin Phillips to go to Liverpool on loan.
Really?
Yeah, I saw that earlier.
I wouldn't mind that,
If it's that's another mellow, bro. Don't do that.
If it's Calvin Phillips from Leeds, that was a player.
But exactly. But if there's a DM now, this is again, it's like, I'm not saying we want him. He's not our first choice. But you can't complain to me now. We've got 2 DMs.
He's a really good player when he was at Leeds.
3.
Really good.
Well, for
him, it's just fitness.
4 then. 4 then.
Yeah, and he's fat.
Bajcetic, Endo, Phillips, and Gravenberch. That's 4.
We can't complain then.
The only
you've got Gravenberch and Bajcetic who can play as an 8. And even Calvin Phillips can do that role kind of as an 8.
The only worry about the Calvin Phillips link is there is a rumour going around that Fulham will not sell Palhinha to Bayern until they get a replacement. So it's a merry-go-round. So we won't get Gravenberch if they don't get Palhinha because we're funding the Palhinha bid.
Indeed, he's available at
Calvin
Leicester.
Phillips on loan.
Like
Indeed to Fulham. Indeed
to Fulham. I can see
that could work. Indeed,
I think that is what I think. I swear I saw something earlier that Fulham.
Yeah, indeed to Fulham. I see that. So we'll have to see, man.
So the Calvin Phillips is like a Mellow for me, an Arthur Mellow.
Yeah, hopefully the Arthur Mellow.
He looks like a marshmallow right now. I ain't gonna lie, but I don't know.
Yeah, he does.
Looks like a marshmallow. We've got Ali Nuss saying. It's about players under Klopp's protection. I agree, Jamie. You're right. Salah missed thousands of chances last year. Nunes missed a few, and everybody jumps on him. We got Naldo.
Those games last year as well, though.
Yeah, he also got 19 goals and 12 assists.
The thing is, Salah's got a back catalogue, and Darwin hasn't. That's the thing. Yeah.
Let's not do that.
Yeah. We've got Naldo saying KDB shoots so many shots that go wide, but Pep needs him to take risks. Go support Haaland. It's just we should be able to let Trent have mistakes in the same way. Yeah, if you're gonna
KDB's not letting the ball run under his foot.
No, defensive goals
in defense. Angel 9068. Angel 9068 saying, I hear this constantly about Klopp. His tactics don't work. However, Klopp has the 3rd best win percentage in Premier League history and the 3rd highest points percentage per game in Premier League history.
Great.
How are winning tactics?
I'm not slagging Klopp off his whole Liverpool career, guys. It's just the last 18 months that he's changed this system that I don't think works with what we got right now. His whole career at Liverpool, I've said I'm 42. He's my favourite manager since Kenny Dalglish. In 1990,
Same here.
He's great, but I'm just talking about the last 18 months. His tactics, we've all spoke about it. Everyone's got channels. We've all spoke about the system and tactics. It's what are we doing sort of scenario right now. That's all I'm talking about. Not his whole career. Not his whole career at Liverpool. No.
JJ loves Rafa Benitez.
Pardon?
You love that Rafa Benitez, bro.
I do. I don't think that's a problem. I think Rafa was just underappreciated.
Rafa had the best 11. Rafa had the best Liverpool 11 in the Premier League era,
and didn't win the Prem
because it was harder to win the Premier League back then.
Didn't have the temperament.
Sorry, City fans.
I don't know.
Didn't have the temperament to win the Prem.
Maybe. We've got Eric 22B saying Ali is keeping us in games which shouldn't have to happen. That brought a smile to Ram's face.
What?
Biggest fan.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. What the hell? We've got Temi Dao saying Robbo is the issue. Get a proper left centre back.
But we've had this conversation, JJ. He's not playing like one.
He should play left centre back. He should play left.
But he's not playing as one though.
He's playing as like a left wing back more than anything. To be fair.
Yeah.
So, Rad Kingston saying it's a dilemma, no doubt. That's in regards to Trent. We've got D23 saying play Nunes up top, Diaz, Soboslai, Trent in the 3, and then Mac and Gravenberch as the DMs. So moving like a 4-2-3-1.
Oh my God, Soboslai. No.
Yeah. We've got Tony Hall saying even when Trent was overlapping at right back, we were exposed. This inverted role is worse. Every team targets the space in the right back position. I like Trent going forward, amazing, but he is not a good right back. No pace.
That's true.
Trent has got slower as well.
Yes. We got Ron Davidson saying, I had to subscribe because of the Trent bashing. Thank you for the subscribe regardless, then appreciate it. Saying, I know he makes mistakes, but I'd sooner him be in the team than not. That's where I'm at the moment.
Further forward.
Yeah, absolutely.
Goose75 saying, great channel. Klopp is renowned for creating superstars. Think Gravenberch will get used to playing alongside Endo. This will also help Endo do his job better and quicker. Maybe so. We got Ron Davidson saying everyone seems to forget Trent had just been booked for nothing and had Gordon diving to get him sent off and had the whole ground on his back. He then had to be captain and helped us win the game.
Don't know about that. I don't know about that.
I think he saw out the game quite well because he could have got a yellow card easily after that.
He should have been sent off, shouldn't he?
And Gordon didn't think about it. Gordon really didn't do anything. Like he cut in and had a shot that hit. I think he missed it. It didn't even hit the post. It was Almiron that did that. Apart from that, I think
he defended.
Exactly.
He passed the ball to Isak that got Virgil van Dijk sent off.
Yeah, but Trent wasn't near him. He had cut inside.
Well, Trent couldn't tackle him because he'd been booked previous.
Yeah, but that's my point.
It's not Trent's fault he got booked. Like the referee was atrocious.
Yeah.
Like,
well, it is Trent's fault. It is Trent's fault. No, to be fair, it is still Trent's fault he got booked because he knows the rules. I'm not saying the refs right.
I said that on your show.
But it's the rules. You're not allowed to show dissent and throw the ball anymore. All the players in the Premier League got told this before the season started. So, yeah, it might look like the softest yellow card in the world, but Trent knows the rules and he broke it.
Do you expect the ref to miss a blatant, like, it wasn't even like...
I'm more annoyed with Virgil.
You can't expect him to not do it when it was the wrong decision and he felt so aggrieved by it. Because it was so blatant.
But you can't make that decision yourself. You have to just get on with it because the rules are the rules. Literally, time wasting and dissent, yellow card straight away.
That also happened. Like that happened about 4 or 5 times.
It happened. But even then, it happened 5 minutes into the game.
It's the rules, though. It's the rules. But unfortunately, the rules are shit. That's the problem. And footballers are all pussies now. It's as simple as that. There's no hard men no more. Yeah. It's all full of pussies. Simple.
Everyone dives on the floor. Like, just watch Newcastle. Like, they're all hard men, like kicking us up in the air. As soon as they get a foul, they just fall over.
Smart, man.
We're too honest. Like, I've said this a long time. We are way too honest as a team.
Yeah, I agree. Ali Nuss saying Trent has great vision. He can pass. He can push the middle. His spot is in the centre mid position. We can all see that, and we can all see that he cannot defend. So why is he still playing as a right back? That's a fair.
What I've been saying. I've been saying, and everyone's having a go at me.
Exactly. I'll be frank. Saying should have kept Fabinho until January. Brought in Gravenberch and Window. As the same with Tar in a swap deal for Matip and a right back to challenge Trent. So we don't have Champions League. So FSG was never going.
I agree. I mean, Fabinho was always going to stay. It's just we got offered the same amount of money we bought him for.
Yeah.
And we've had him like 6 years.
Exactly.
I'll say no.
Honesty saying Salah against Chelsea was greedy, poor touch, shooting blanks, but people don't talk about that. I think Trent is an agenda because Mo at times is also moving mad, but people are quiet about that. It's because he's further up the pitch. If we're being honest.
And
I mean, he just doesn't like his messing up a lot of the time, unless he's at the back somewhere, he's missed a chance, and as a result, we haven't won a game. But he hasn't cost us the game in that respect. He
got 40 GA last season. It's hard to agree.
Mac LFC saying, guys, look at the average age of the midfield. We're set for the next 8 years.
Yeah,
that's true, but I just don't see all those midfielders staying for the next 8 years. It never happens.
Yeah, it's
never the case. Like they stay for 3-4 years and they're gone. So like,
hang on. Hendo, how long was he there?
Hendo has been there for ages.
11 years.
11 years.
Fabinho, what did 5 years?
5 years.
5 years.
Genie did what? 3.5, 4?
4 years, yeah.
4 years.
So, and who else? Naby, he was there forever.
4 years.
4
so
years.
Our average is about 4 to 5 years. So,
that's because we don't sell players. We just let them run their contract down.
That's true.
Yeah.
But that's my point. Since we're here for 4 or 5 years, we're not going to be set for like years, like 10 years. Like,
but you want to play it for 8 years, though.
But some people wanted Bellingham, and they were like, "Yeah, Bellingham will stay here until he's, 30." And it's like we're not going to keep him for 9 years. Like it just doesn't happen.
I've got a thing with Jude Bellingham.
Situation.
I don't think Jude Bellingham ever plays in England.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he doesn't.
I think he's arguably going to be the best midfielder in the world by next year, right? Oof. And he ain't leave. Why would you leave Real Madrid?
Unless he flops, he's not going to leave Real Madrid.
No, I've seen him at Real Madrid for about 10 years. I don't see why he would.
Unless it's like a Clarence Seedorf thing, where he goes Madrid, wins everything. He's like, I'm done. I'm going to go somewhere else and win again.
But then he could go to Italy. He could go to Italy.
Let's be honest. He's not coming.
He's not coming here. He's going to City.
I don't think he's the likelihood of him ever in the Premier League when you're this young and you're already balling out at Real Madrid this young. I don't see him ever leaving.
Yeah. Shout out to Akenzi Irondi as well. Shout out to Akenzi saying, saying getting genie vibes from this signing. 100% Akenzi. I think I understand why you're saying that. We've got Darlington. Shout out to Darlington saying you don't have to have an idea what Klopp is doing.
I would like to.
You like to know what he's doing.
I think the fans like should have.
We don't have to. We don't need to. We want to.
But you can't go in with blind faith, can you?
Yeah, but also
certain people do that, you know.
Oh, here we go.
Certain people do that. We've got Jean Gray. Shout out to Jean Gray saying, "Good day, gents. Why do we insist on
playing? I think
playing our squad out of position. I just don't get it. At least I thought it was due to injuries, and that talk is still going on. We say positions, but maybe the Klopp sees them in different positions, isn't it? It's like we've all played football or sports where, you know, you might come to a team as a right back and they're telling you, actually, you're going in goal, mate. Or you come as a winger and you're being told to go as a right back. So even myself.
Wasn't Torres a goalkeeper?
But that's my point. But even myself, I got scouted as a midfielder and I ended up playing at centre back, innit? Like it happens, man. It happens.
PMP, bro. PMP.
Huh? PMP. 100%, man.
Yeah.
PMP. And then Zayn Hanif saying Gravenberch is defensively better than McAllister.
Yeah.
From a physical standpoint, yeah, I'd agree with that. Shout out to Glasgow Reds TV and John Moore saying, I'll believe it's happening when I see him in the Liverpool top, not beforehand. I'm inclined to say the same thing, you know. Last time I got excited, I was like Caicedo, Lavia.
So many. 73 midfielders or something.
Yeah. Listen, I've been fooled twice now. I've been fooled with the Caicedo and I've been fooled with the Qatar investment, with the oil money. And both times when I've got excited, nothing's come through. And both times I've been made to look like a fool, flashing all on my head and rapping. I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not doing that anymore.
Did you do a Caicedo show?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
he did. Everyone did a video.
I was very happy. I was on holiday when that deal was going through. So I was watching everyone. I was watching Jerry do his video. I was watching Copies do their video. Everyone who did a video got completely clipped up. So,
bro, that Caicedo thing happened on my birthday. The entire saga happened on my birthday. I was like, bro, it is done.
Klopp never wanted Caicedo anyway, so
I was on that train as well, so I wasn't that done.
Exactly.
Klopp wanted Lavia. That's the one Klopp wanted. Klopp wanted Lavia,
but not for the price that was being quoted. Ali Nuss saying, I love this channel, one of the most honest LFC channels out there. Appreciate that, Ali Nuss, wholeheartedly. We've got D23 saying, what team in recent history won a major trophy without a significantly good DM? No one ever.
Facts.
Like, no one ever.
I'm trying to think now. What, in the history of football or just football in this generation?
Well, in the history of football, there's always been a more defensive midfielder, though. Even if you played with like two midfield.
Arsenal,
Patrick Vieira, Gilberto Silva, Roy Keane.
Yeah, you've always
had destroyers.
The thing is, the football's different now, ain't it? It's played a different way. Who's Real Madrid's DM?
Tchouameni.
Tchouameni.
But you don't.
And that Casemiro before that.
But who was their DM last season? Because Tchouameni didn't play.
Tony Kroos and Camavinga. Camavinga's coming in third.
Yeah, I wouldn't really call them out and out DMs.
Yeah, maybe it's that one. Maybe
but it's Madrid. Have you seen their midfield? It's ridiculous.
Casemiro was their guy when they won like 4 Champions Leagues.
Yeah,
Pat Butcher, that is the guy that I want. But
he's got a 50 million release clause as well, Pat.
Zubimendi. Baller.
Bizzle 316 saying big JJ and the panel, congratulations on reaching 2K. Much appreciated. We've got Noah Knight saying the question for me is, since Gravenberch is better at the 8 than the 6, will he start over Endo, who's very experienced, or will he play as a sub for Alexis and Dominic? That's the intriguing question. I guess that's
I think we're doing total football BS, bro. Honest to God.
What with players that can't do it? That makes no sense.
No, players that have their fundamentals apparently.
Yeah. Shout out to Jay Kismet saying, why do fans moan instead of just supporting the players? The amount of negativity towards Darwin, and you think the brother paid for Man United. Going on to then go and say, where was it? Did I just miss it up? You just said it. I just missed it. Pure thing. But yeah, man.
It'd be interesting to see if Darwin starts against Villa on the weekend. Because he probably should.
Yeah, will be interesting. We got Rom saying, JJ, you got scouted as a midfielder and then went into the back four. You got Trent treatment. Nah, what it is originally it's funny. I was actually a striker and then went to like right wing and then into midfield. And then
as soon as the more taller you got, the more you started to get shifted back.
But I was always tall though. I was always tall. It's just like, yeah, it's just there was other facets that I found easier in it.
Bro. All I know in England, if you're 6'4", you are going to be playing centre back. That's all.
When I played for Kent under 16s, I play county level. When I played for Kent under 16s, I was a Mulby like midfielder. I didn't like running, but I had this amazing right foot. I could put the ball anywhere. I used to love it. I was like, Mulby. I had the gut. I was 16. I had everything. I had the right
gut
foot.
at 16. At 16.
It run, man. It run. That's who I was. And I used to love it, man. I used to dictate play. I sort of love them footballers still.
Breaking news from Bear. The Gravenberch deal is off, as repeated by Fabrizio Romano. I'm joking. He's joking. I'm joking. Jamie was about to lose it. I
was like, bro, it's just typical Liverpool, isn't it?
It's Dan Club.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Shout out to Colin Blackshaw saying afternoon, gents. What else? We get through some more. There's so many, man. There's so many. I just can't. Apologies if I haven't read out your question. I haven't got to it. There's just too many comments at all. We got shout out to Fritz saying congratulations on the 2K fam. Totally love this channel. Let's keep growing. Buzzing for the first watch along. It's going to be peak, man. It's going to be peak. We got Temi Dio saying JJ got clocked in my career. Yeah, I got clocked, man. I got clocked and then I got injured at right back. You know, like that. Right back as well. Madness.
I never got an injury.
Yeah,
I didn't run though, so I wouldn't.
Tina Murphy, shout out to Tina saying, what about trying Trent at right wing in the future? Hopefully Andre in January. Andre then in January if we get Gravenberch. Do you think that's
Andre's going to West Ham now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's
I would play Trent at right wing back. That's where I think
JJ, I'm just saying, Blaszczykowski settings. I'm just saying.
Blaszczykowski fast.
I think we should play a back three.
Settings.
I agree.
Now, Piszczek was actually a solid defender, bro.
That's what I'm saying. For Trent, that's what I'm saying.
So Trent ain't Piszczek.
Yeah, but Piszczek could assist as well, though.
Yeah, but Piszczek was big and he was strong and he could defend and he was good at running up and down the pitch.
Yeah, it's true. We've got Anfield Road End saying should have bought Ugarte 50 M's. Dumb decision all summer by this foolish manager and his Ibiza brethren.
He wanted Ugarte that much that he ended up getting done for tapping up.
Yeah, it's
the reason why we didn't get Ugarte. He wanted him too much.
We have flipping Nunez here, who's Uruguayan. My man could have just spoke to him and be like,
exactly.
Come. And yet this is the guy who wants to come and just be like, let me do it.
Do you know what makes me laugh? Like, Matthias Nunez is going to Man City now, yeah? I love Liverpool fans. I really do love us. We're a special breed. Because every Liverpool fan I know did not want Matthias Nunez at all. Did not want him, right?
I don't mind it.
And now he's going to Man City. Everyone's like, oh, we could have been on that. Why aren't we going for Matthias Nunez if he's only costing that much? You can't win.
No, but everyone trusts Pep. If Pep signed
you can't win.
How many Pep signings don't bang? So you know, like
unless they're a fullback.
Matthias Nunes is a good
fullback
footballer.
Pep has had what, maybe 2 or 3 duds since he's been at City in a year less than Klopp. Only 2 of his signings haven't banked.
And even the players that didn't really perform like that, they still performed. Like when you look at them, like when you come up against them, you're like, oh,
Danilo,
that gonna cook us.
Oh,
Like Ferran
even
Torres.
Danilo was.
Hang on, let me just say something here. All right, I'm going to stick up for Klopp here. So everyone who's coming at me, I'm going to stick up for Klopp here. How many of Klopp's transfers have actually been a dud?
Naby, Ox.
Was Ox really a dud?
No,
Because when he was playing,
he's just been played in midfield.
No, he was a dud because you can still say he had half a good season in 5 years. It's a dud because you didn't move him on.
Yeah, but he only played half a good season in 5 years because of injuries.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, because he was fit. He was fit all of last season. He was fit all of the season.
I don't know if Ox was a dud. I think injuries, and Naby was injuries as well.
Yeah, but
I look at people like.
But if you don't move them on within 2-3 years, then it's a dud.
That's what Klopp's weak at. He's not moving players on when he needs to.
But that comes into it as well. Pep will just move you on if you're not fit in the system. You'll be gone.
Yeah.
You'll be gone the next summer. No questions asked. It doesn't matter whether it's
Karius
wasn't that bad. He wasn't
that bad. Mac, you're gonna get the ram treatment. I might have to kick you off the stream.
Why are you calling it the ram treatment?
But he had concussion.
Mug. Don't do that.
Oh no.
The guy had concussion.
Even before the final, he was letting in a few suspect goals. Man.
Remember that corner
He just
of
didn't come off
shot.
his line enough, did he? That was his
He didn't
problem.
come off his. K-Mac, don't do this because the
No,
button.
I'm just saying. I'm saying that was.
See, no, he's talking too much, guys. I'm sorry. K-Mac's had to get the treatment. I mean, Karius.
I couldn't even go there.
Karius being spoken about. In glowing terms, not on this channel.
What's funny?
What I should have said.
How about Ben Davis?
Was it Jurgen Klopp signings or Michael Edwards signings?
That's interesting.
And who built this Liverpool generation? Jurgen Klopp or Michael Edwards?
Edwards.
Both.
Interesting.
Both.
Interesting.
Because I think Karius was both Edwards and Klopp.
Karius.
I just had this conversation about Fabinho. Like everyone thinks that Fabinho was signed by Klopp. He wasn't. He was signed by Edwards. Yeah. And the reason he came to us is because he had a conversation with Firmino.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the same.
All right, people. But quick one before we head out. I want everyone in the chat and everyone here, obviously everyone in the chat to let me know. Gravenberch, are we happy with the signing? Are we met? Are we whatever? I'm going to check the poll. So if you haven't hit the poll, let us know. I'm going to go around obviously the panel before we head out and just obviously chat to guys. So obviously we've seen the stats. We've chopped him up. We spoke about obviously how we would fit into LFC. Let's start from the bottom. So I'll start with Jamie and go around. Jamie, yes. Good signing for LFC, or give that signing if it was to be completed a rating out of 10.
8 out of 10 on the midfield rebuild as well.
Cool. Okay, Matt.
I'd probably give it an 8 as well. He's a versatile player. He's another body in the door, which is great. The only issue I've got is we're funding the DM, which I think would fit us more. But it's another player in the door, and I can't complain. There's 4 signings. That's not bad. But the window, a 6 for me.
Yeah.
28 million. Can't go wrong.
Ish.
Gravenberch. I give him a 7. I give him a 7. Only purely because I haven't seen him play football for about a year, so I don't really know what kind of. I haven't got form to go on. It's just hoping that he can rediscover form from 2 seasons ago. But yeah, he's a good player. And I like his profile. And I think he will bring quality to us. And I think he'll get games. I think he'll definitely get games. But the window's a 5. I can't really call it above average just because it's been so up and down. It started well with McAllister. Then even before we bought Szoboszlai, it was kind of, we all started to panic a little bit because we didn't sign a DM. Then Szoboszlai came in, we were like 6 signing, but it's still not the DM that we wanted. Then obviously the Caicedo stuff and Lavia as well. So yeah, for me, the window can't get above average. It's a 5. No matter who you bring in now, it's a 5 for me.
Yeah. Ram?
In terms of the signing, I'm not going to be as optimistic as these guys. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. I'm not too sure on him. I don't even know if he has the capabilities of playing as a 6. I think what we're getting from him is just potential. We are paying for potential, and it is a massive, massive risk. And if you talk about the overall window, I'm going to agree with Ish every single day of the week and a month on Sundays. 5 out of 10. It went so well, especially after the Soboslai signing. Me and JJ, and I remember Romans were gassed about him coming through, but then all of a sudden, all that good work more or less undone in the last couple of weeks. It's a shame.
Can I ask a question? A quick question. Is Liverpool's midfield better today than it was last season?
Yeah.
So why are we rating it so low?
Because the defense hasn't improved, and that was probably one of the
not the window, just the signing.
Jamie, the main thing that we need, we still don't have. That's why.
No, I agree. I'm just asking.
And also, Jamie, you have to also.
We replaced the 8s. We upgrade. Sorry, Ram. We upgraded on both the 8s, but the 6 that we needed last year, we still don't have.
That's the one thing I agree with. And the one thing I agree with.
I'd argue that it was very easy to improve the midfield from last season because it was so dire, because it was so poor. I think going forward wise, I think we're pretty much decent, but balance, we have to wait and see if Gravenberch can implement his inner total football.
Yeah, we'll have to wait on that. I think myself, I give it like a 7, being optimistic. I want to say 6, the signing itself, but I'd give it a 7 because if he can become if he can come in and have an impact, even as an 8, then that'll be a benefit for us. If he comes in and is a DM, but is a great DM and is able to kind of just change the way he can play in the same way that Gini Wijnaldum was able to, it'll probably be like an 8 or a 9. So we'll have to just obviously wait and see. We've got Pogozin's actual son saying 7 out of 10. Looking at the poll, people, so it's over 700 votes. So that's a massive, massive sample size. The question was, are we happy with the potential Gravenberch signing? 69% of you. So that's a massive, massive majority saying hell yes. 20% saying meh, like it's all right. And 12% of you saying, nah, we need something else. We need a DM. So interesting. Majority of the fan base, it seems as though are happy with the signing, man. So yeah, the same question goes out to obviously all you guys watching on the replay as well. Let us know in the comments. How happy would you be with a potential Gravenberch signing? Does he fit what Liverpool are trying to go and do? Are you trusting Klopp's decision? Let us know. Let us know, man. Let us know. Well, obviously, thank you so much for obviously everyone tuning in, and obviously this being the show that broke the 2K barrier by quite a margin as well. We're way over 2K now, so it seems as though like road to 3K is underway already. Thank you so much, obviously, for Ish, Ram, and Jamie Phillips and K-Max, obviously, for jumping on as well. Love as always. Please make sure, if we haven't already, we're heading over to Jamie Phillips. That's obviously subscribing over there. The K-Mac channel as well. I think the K-Mac, I'm going to put everything in the description as well. So put K-Mac's channel in the link. The Equalizer, of course, on Twitter and on Instagram for the best captions, and check out Versus as well, where Ish dibbles and dabbles here and there, and you can get a bit of, get some content there. And obviously Ram and the Ram Stand, and obviously the Football Terrace are making his appearances there. Thank you so much, guys. Have a great afternoon. I probably will do. I need to. I'm happy. If there's any breaking news, you know what to do. Hit the notification bell because you're going to be updated. I'm going to, break to you any kind of news regarding the Gravenberch situation. If we see him in a Liverpool top, you're going to see me on it yet again.
No.
What's that?
So Nat Phillips is officially left on loan now, and it looks like Liverpool trying to get a defender in before Friday's deadline.
No, it's in a Pache. They won't do it.
It's in a Pache, 100%. We are going all out for that guy.
All right, 100%. We're going to have to wait and see. So, guys, you know where to be, man. If you want to go and find that exclusive breaking content with a little bit of pizzazz, you know where to find us. It's been the J. James Show. Thank you so much for watching, and we're out. Take it easy.